Right on time.
And we begin with dry heaving.
Right on time.
Welcome to the...
Can that be the start of the video, please?
Hello,
Like in the
and
intro.
I would like it more if it was fucking why don't what is his fucking name?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Hang on. This is gonna fucking kill me. Fucking from Looney Tunes, and don't tell me, Jordan. It's fucking
Yosemite Sam.
I hate you. I said don't tell me.
Well, you see, I'm the Looney Tunes guy. Of course, I'm gonna say something.
But I needed to know myself. Otherwise, I think that I'm losing my mind.
Rabbit.
He's the Looney Tune boy. He's the one who
One that loonies.
I needed to do it myself.
I'm sorry, Taylor.
Don't worry, next time you forget a Looney Tunes character, Jordan will definitely not say.
Like, there was this one night when I forgot who Tom Kenny was, and it's really scary. It's like, how do you forget who Tom Kenny is?
Oh.
And then I spent like a whole morning, like I actually woke up early. I stopped being able to sleep because my mind was like, who plays SpongeBob? Wait, who plays SpongeBob? Wait, who plays SpongeBob?
I hate you. The 2016 Yearlies are sponsored by the album Rain Dogs by Tom Waits. It's been out, but heck, Kate Bush can get a hit now these days, so why not Tom Waits? Buy it today.
Woo!
All right.
Did you give the intro?
I did a very brief one, but okay.
I think that was so loud that your mic didn't even pick it up completely.
That makes it so much fun. Like even funnier, honestly. I keep it just like that.
Ooh, welcome to the Yearlies, you varmint!
So, 2016. It certainly was a year. That things happened. But before we go into games, why don't we talk about some of the things we did in that year, and therefore the thing that we usually do. Whoever wants to go first.
I'll go first. I don't think I'll go first. If I did go first before, please insert like me making a fool of myself here.
Totally went first.
2016 was when I started college.
Well, me too.
That was when I met most of you, but was not friends with you yet. Very important.
It is important. I agree.
Not wasn't doing any of you. I had to go on my own journey of self-reflection before I could become your guys' friend.
I mean, heck, we were at a few Du Bois meetings before Graham even became my friend.
There were Du Bois meetings for that, Graham.
I think Graham and I spoke
lunch once, Mick.
I think Graham and I spoke once in 2016, and the conversation was, "What was your name again?"
Graham, I tried to explain to Clanky the other day about the time where I was like, "Are you asking me out?"
I remember that.
Titanfall 2 honestly deserves to be on this list, but I know it get eviscerated on this list, so
I
would
would have supported it.
Well, I gotta tell you, I never thought I would ever want to play Titanfall 2, and then I learned that like Titanfall 2 has a very good story campaign.
Yeah, can I just say, don't play Titanfall 2 on PC anymore.
The Titan fell.
It's like $5 on Xbox, anyways. I think.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because if you did play it on Steam, it's or do play it online at the moment, it's it is inadvertently just like it's basically spyware at this point. That is how thoroughly the game has been hacked.
Now, when you say spyware, you mean that if I were to play it, it would fuck with my computer?
Yes, it will steal your personal data.
That's okay. I had to make sure. I don't know how that happens.
It happens when the studio like doesn't do anything to support the game anymore and just kind of leaves it in the wayside.
Okay. To be clear, I was never going to play it online. I only was ever interested in that story campaign.
Oh no! I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure like if you just install it, it'll fuck with it.
Okay.
Yeah, EA really shot this game the kneecap by like releasing it right the same weekend as like Infinite Warfare and Battlefield 1. So you had like they released it against one of their own other franchises within that week. But still, very, very good game. A lot of fun. One of the best first-person platformers I've ever played. And then Overwatch, just heartbreaking because I had so much fun with Overwatch. But then everything with Blizzard and all of that happened, and I can't really look at it the same way anymore.
Really? That's what made you stop having fun with Overwatch, and it wasn't,
Yeah.
Overwatch?
Yeah.
Rick, do you just not like games that start with either under or over?
Oh, no. I really enjoyed Overwatch when it first came out. And then as they continued to balance patch it, they just made the game worse and worse.
I just played it because it was fun.
It was fun, and then they patched it too much, and now it's not fun.
I'm pretty sure when I met Christian, and I think Christian denies this every time, we went to a club fair together, and we signed up for the gaming club, and they asked us what your favorite games were, and I swear he wrote down Overwatch.
Oh no, I don't deny that I possibly did that, but I do say that I probably wrote it down to save face instead of actually giving my honest opinion.
Oh, Mick, you were right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because my favorite game
I know Christian. It'd be like, no. No, he almost certainly did write Overwatch, but he didn't mean it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway. I do not deny that I possibly did that.
And then, luckily, Civ 6 is on this list, so I don't have to talk about Civ 6. We move on to the next person.
Oh, Civ 6 is in there. Okay.
I'll just nominate the next person down on this list and say Christian goes.
I guess if nobody else wants to, then I will.
I'll go.
Oh, okay, Mick, you can do it.
Yeah, okay. So, I had a great 2016. I really enjoyed 2016. I started up after my gap year. I started up classes at Purchase again. Oh yeah, I started playing Overwatch, and I met a bunch of I met a bunch of friends who I'm still really close with through Overwatch. What's going on? You know what? I'm just gonna move on to my honorable mentions, just so I can talk about it. So Overwatch, I really, really, really enjoyed Overwatch when it came out. One of my favorite things about it was the sort of almost rock paper scissors-esque kind of quirk that the gameplay had, where like there were heroes that were just better against others, and so you were encouraged to constantly switch to counter your enemy. I really enjoyed that. And then they started balance patching the game so that everyone could stand up to everyone else equally. And the game got infinitely worse.
I mean, that sounds like a good thing, I'll level with you.
How is that a good thing?
That every character can go against every character, it's balanced.
Now there's no point to play any character. Now you just stick with your favorite character and play that forever, rather than having to have the fun of choosing the character that best counters the enemy's characters.
You know what? I don't care enough about Overwatch to argue this.
Cool. Yeah. Anyway, I think I stopped playing Overwatch shortly after Sombra was released. Well, she was playable for a while. I stopped playing. Can't remember. Oh, it was the last map I remember was the one in Saudi Arabia, Oasis, I think, something like that. I can't remember the name of these courses. Also, in terms of my honorable mentions, the only other game I have here is The Flame and the Flood, which I didn't start playing until this week. I realized I had bought this game like a while ago, but never played it, but I have listened to the soundtrack extensively. And finally, I was like, you know what? I'm going to play it and see if I even want to put it on this list, because I've really wanted to play it for a while, but I've never had that push to get me to start playing it, and it's really fun. And so it's an honorable mention.
Wolves!
Yeah. It's basically like a roguelike survival game where it takes place in like this flooded valley, and again, you basically have to like survive while traveling down this river, and it's hard. or at least it's hard if you play it on the hardest difficulty like I did, where it's permadeath. So yeah, that's what I've been doing.
That's why you're so afraid of the wolves. So
yeah. There's two difficulties. Checkpoints and permadeath. And I'm like, well, I know what I have to play it on. So really fun. Great soundtrack. That's all I have to say, I think.
I can probably go next. To go through the spark notes of 2016 as a year. 2016 was a very stressful year for me. It was the second half of my senior year at high school. The less said about that, the better. It was obviously the time that I came to purchase, and I met most of you. And
oh yeah, that's right. That's where it was. Was this the year where you talked about Mr. Driller in the parking lot?
That's 2017.
Okay.
Yeah, 2017 was when I actually became friends with y'all who aren't Taylor, basically. So.
And also not really me. We never really became friends.
I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure you and I are the only people who were friends in 2016.
Yeah, that's what I meant to say. Did it not come across like that?
Pretty sure you said the exact opposite.
Oh, I didn't mean for it to come across like that. I meant to say 2016 was the year that I only really became friends with Taylor, and then 2017 I actually became friends with the rest of you.
So I ever told you, like, the first time I met you, I think I told you to your face, like, oh, I always thought you were like a senior or something.
Because I look like an old fucking coot.
No, you don't. What are you talking about?
Everyone says I'm old.
I'll have you know, in 2016 he played an old man, so I.
And how'd that go?
Oh, I got slapped in the face.
Well,
did Will Smith show up?
It was by Genie, by the way.
Genie, you slapped Christian in the face?
Yeah. Several times, like at least more than 20.
Slap or a regular slap?
You want to do it again?
You want what?
This was in context of the play, right?
Oh yes, of course.
Yes. Of course not. What?
Christian,
oh yes,
I feel like has 13 or 30 energy.
The date with each other, and we hated each other.
You don't actually look like that, Christian. You actually I actually don't even think you look all that old, but.
I don't either. I really don't.
Okay.
Didn't help.
Moving on. This was the year that Gamers of Dawn finally got snuffed out of existence.
Okay, I thought you were going to say this is the year Gamers of Dawn finally started taking itself seriously, and that would have been the third year in a row you said that.
No,
This is the year that we recorded Pokemon Snap, right? When we came back home from college.
It is the year we recorded Pokemon Snap.
The Gamers of Dawn at this point was still rolling, baby.
So it must have been 2017 that we finally crushed it into the ground. Like,
you guys know that
the beginning of 2017 when it was officially the dream was dead.
Yeah.
You guys know that when these go online, Jordan's going to put up links to Gamers of Dawn, right?
Oh, yeah, all of the videos are privated, so you won't see any videos.
Doesn't mean it doesn't exist.
Yeah, it still exists for you to look and point and laugh at, but it doesn't. You can't actually watch anything on it except for 2 videos.
How many?
Well, this gets famous enough, and people are going to be clamoring for him.
Yeah, how many subscribers?
I'm clamoring for them.
They can clamor all they want.
Yeah.
Clam.
How many subscribers does this have to get for you to release Gamers of Dawn?
10,000.
Like
okay,
you know
hang
what?
On.
Wow.
How much?
No,
No. I have a better answer. What's the population of Earth? It's like 7 point whatever billion. So I'll say 10 billion.
What? Okay.
Clanky makes the rules.
Wait, you need to get 10 billion. You need to get 10 billion subscribers, or there needs to be 10 billion people on Earth.
We need to have 10 billion subscribers.
Okay. How about
possible.
that? Can we negotiate for just the Mario Party playthrough?
That's the one that I really don't want.
That's the worst one.
Yeah, that's the one I really.
I should also point out that Clanky, you think that you've come up with a flawless solution, but we can just make 10 billion accounts.
That's going to be easier said than done.
It's all right.
You make 10 billion accounts and get back to me.
We'll hire people to do it.
That's illegal.
We'll hire the entire Earth to make. Anyway, sorry. So the last thing I'll mention that's not honorable mentions related is one of my favorite memories of 2016 in terms of games was this was the year I played and beat all of Super Monkey Ball 2 in one night. And I remember playing it at GU, which is the Gamers United Club for Clanky. And I remember I played through all of Super Monkey Ball 2 and beat the entire game, and it was actually a blast, and it's a good memory of mine. In terms of honorable mentions, I have a lot, so I'll go through them quite quickly. I put Ultimate Arena on here. Ultimate Arena is like Tomodachi Life, but instead of everyone living together, you're all in the Hunger Games. And that's basically what Ultimate Arena is. You create characters, you drop them into the Hunger Games, and they kill each other. And you can write your own prompts, you can customize your character's stats. You can really, the customization for this goes above and beyond, and not even including mods. And you can drop up to like 200 characters. Some of my favorites were Left Joy-Con won a match at one point. I had one player that was just a picture of a dead female sheer grub from Pikmin 3. And it was just that.
Hang on, can I just say, I was curious about what this was, and so I just pulled it up on Steam, and I'm looking at these screenshots, and they are wild.
Yeah.
Kanye West complains about the weather.
Those I'm pretty
Washington
sure
dies after detonating a landmine.
I'm pretty sure all of those are default ones too. So you get those in the game when you buy it.
Rosa Parks unleashes a fatal punch to the face on Bill Gates.
Like
that happened actually.
Ultimate Arena is just a really fun time if you just want to get really silly.
It's like those Hunger Game simulators online, except like a more in depth.
Exactly.
Cool.
Starbound was one of my favorite games of all time.
Hang on a minute. One last
Did
thing.
you just do a cat noise?
One last one. Gandhi eats dirt to fight off the hunger pains.
Oh god.
No.
Anyway.
Starbound was one of my favorite games of all time, and then they finished it, and they took out everything that I liked, and made the game a piece of shit. So now,
like Overwatch.
Kind of like Overwatch. I'll get to Overwatch, but like, Starbound is now kind of just a meager disappointment that only lives on in my memories as something that's actually worthwhile. Overwatch, I put 25 hours into and said, I'm good now, and I never played it again. And that Dragon Cancer made me cry my eyes out.
Just to be clear, he's referring to a game called That Dragon Cancer. He's not calling Overwatch That Dragon Cancer.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
The clarification, I guess, was entirely necessary. But yeah, that is everything.
I can go next.
Okay.
I'll keep it pretty short. My 2016 was the beginning of my college career as well. I was when I was a freshman, and nothing really substantial happened too much this year. Otherwise, freshman year was definitely like a big year for me. I think like building character and whatnot, but like that's something that was combined with the end of 2016 and the beginning of 2017. So we'll talk about it then.
Were
But
you digging holes?
yes,
It builds character.
it does.
Yeah.
And that's how I got my degree.
He got no respect because he was the new man. But he got a shovel, shoes full of sand, and if you check out the tag, the name is Clanky.
True. But yeah, other than that, like putting the games in this for the my entries and stuff was really telling to me because I don't think I played a lot of games in 2016. Because all of these games I think I played after 2016, except I think Death Road to Canada, which we'll talk about. And Pokemon Go, but we're gonna talk about that too.
Yeah.
As far as honorable mentions go, I don't really have much to say because all of these games
On the bracket.
are on the bracket.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about it then. But I do want to talk about Overwatch, even though it's like not on my honorable mentions, because I think Christian bought me Overwatch for my birthday, and I played it once with them and hated it so much that I never played it again.
Oh my god.
And
Well, okay.
I think I'm just saying, like, I'm glad that maybe I didn't give it a fair chance, but either way, I wouldn't have been rooting for Overwatch if it was on the bracket, and I just wanted to say that. But otherwise, yeah.
The honest truth of it is that 2016 might have been one of the best years of my life.
Yay!
Cool.
And it's really strange to admit that, because I know that 2016 wasn't a great year for people in general.
That one.
But like,
Not bad.
I got to spend the first half as a gap year because I had to go. I took a semester off in between colleges before I started college for the second time. So I got to just spend a lot of it catching up on games. And then I spent the second half going to purchase, where I actually made friends, which is rare. And more surprising, most of them, not most of them, some of them are still my friends.
Yes.
Hog champion.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Wonder
That
who they
doesn't
are.
usually happen. I met a couple of people. I met a boy. I met a
Boy.
tall guy in a banana suit.
Yeah.
Um,
I still have that shirt, by the way.
I would hope so. You haven't grown an inch.
Well, I've
There's
grown
not-
outward, I just not upward.
I made cameo appearances with Graham and Mick. Graham didn't remember my name, and Mick told me to shut up because I was talking too loud in comic book club.
Oh.
He didn't tell me to shut up. He was very nice.
Hey,
Okay,
Can I
good,
just
because
say,
I have no
stop
memory
talking.
of this.
I'll level with you. I'm like 90% sure it was you. There's a small chance it wasn't, but I just remember it was when My Hero Academia was on for PCU.
Oh, okay.
Maybe I won't
I
say.
wouldn't have
Maybe
been present at the time, but yeah.
maybe I
just
won't
been
say.
Robin.
Maybe I won't say names as to not indicate where we went to school. But
We've mentioned its purchase.
Yeah.
okay.
There's only so many places I guess it could be.
But it's so much mysterious for everyone to guess. Anyways, yeah. So I didn't know who the fuck Clanky was. His name was never even mentioned to me. He was, as far as I'm concerned, did not exist until like 2019.
He was written
Do
in.
you lack object permanence?
Oh, damn.
Are things only in existence if you have seen them?
Oh,
Hang on.
man.
You don't want the answer to
It
that.
operates off of Minecraft render distance.
I'll be honest, I kind of do want to know the answer now.
So, yeah. I mean, I ran.
Do you have object permanence or not? And I'm not moving on.
I became VP of Anime Club, which
No.
had its ups and downs. And yeah, it was, all in all, not a bad year. But like Clanky, I didn't get to play as many 2016 games in 2016. Well, maybe that's not true, actually. As for honorable mentions that didn't make the list, let me just say an Ace Attorney game came out this year, so obviously that was the best game of 2016, but I can't just talk about Ace Attorney every time it comes out. I feel like I have to save my loads.
No, Pokemon games are reserved for that.
You know what? Well, Ace
I'm one
Attorney's
to
better.
talk. I put one on this year.
Ace Attorney's better than Pokemon.
Yes, it
And-
is.
But so yeah, Spirit of Justice was so good. Great Ace Attorney game. All worth all the hype. But I also played. I don't think I played them this year, but the finale to the Zero Escape trilogy came out, Zero Time Dilemma, which I enjoyed. I thought it was pretty good. It was a fun winter break when I played that. I think it was in 2017, but it was a good time, and I don't want to say much because I'd rather you guys experience that story for yourselves. While I was putting this list together, I had Mick on the line, and Mick was looking at games. He's like, "What the fuck is Owlboy?" And I'm like, "Don't you diss Owlboy. Owlboy is a great game."
Who?
Owlboy is just this cute little indie game.
Mick got it.
Oh, god damn it. Continue.
I'm sorry. I'm trying really hard to figure it out.
Owls go who, Taylor?
Oh, fuck!
The
Alright,
anger.
can I just say, you not getting the joke and having that reaction way funnier than if everyone had gotten the joke.
I know, but you know what? It's like when you fucking get your golden opportunity, you go to see Brennel Floss in person, and your one question at his panel is, "Why do you call yourself Brennel Floss? What's the joke?" And then someone in the audience goes, "Dental Floss," and you go, "Fuck!"
you
Did that
say
happen?
No, it's not on YouTube.
Wait. Jordan, if you're linking to Gamers at Dawn, you're linking to that too.
20 billion. He doesn't know where it is. He doesn't know what year it was.
I can Google to my fucking heart's content.
You're not
man.
gonna
I'll
find it on Google, Jordan. I'm not that important.
You doubt my powers, Taylor.
I do. You know what? For this, I do.
Do
If
not
you find that, I
underestimate
will.
Power.
I will give you a good boy point. Actually, I won't give you a good boy point. That would be a dick move. Yeah. So, Owlboy is a
Jedi are
fun.
afraid of me.
Owlboy. I'm still mad about the Who. I'm still mad that I didn't put together the Who. I'm really upset. Owlboy
Backstreet
is.
Boys?
Owl Boy.
What about Owl Boy? I need to know.
Owl Boy is like a kind of Metroidvania game in the sense that it's kind of a Metroidvania game. You play as a mute owl, and the game like notes the fact that you are mute, and the story is kind of based around that fact. It affects the story, and it's able to tell some endearing, some sad storytelling as a result. You get to carry everybody as an owl, and they do different things. I don't know, man. It's good. I like the game. I don't really remember it all that well. I've moved on. I'm in another place now. So 2016 was pretty good. Taylor's observational skills are bad.
It's okay.
It wasn't so much your observational skills that was the problem. It was your joke processing skills.
I know, and it's just my processing everything skills.
Yeah, and your object permanence, apparently.
Yes. You never answered the question, Taylor.
And I never will. All right, so.
Hey, shut the fuck up, Taylor, because my 2016, I didn't mean it like that. I'm sorry.
It's okay. I'm a pretty annoying guy.
No, you're not.
I can be more annoying than you. Competition.
This is a great Yearlies, guys.
2016, it was actually a really good year for me. Like, mostly because it came on the heels of an absolutely terrible year that I really hated most parts of. Because, like, over the course of this year, I met a girl that I would go on a date for 5 years. I joined a Shakespeare production on campus, which went really well. I started running my college's improv club. I started making a lot more social bonds, including becoming better friends with, like, at least 2 of the people in this group. Although I was already really good friends with Mick, but then since he came back, I became better friends with him.
Is the other one Graham? I'm just curious.
It's you!
Were we friends in 2016?
Toward the end, I think.
Yeah, maybe. I do remember I had to seek you out for some advice, but I think that was 2017.
Well, either way, all right. Okay.
It's okay. I'm glad.
I love the use of the phrase "seek you out." I journeyed far and wide into the far lands.
I lived down the street, Taylor.
Jordan, I would love to be your 2016 friend.
Aw, sweet. I also had a really great job that summer working as a writing specialist for the short film camp that I used to go to as a kid. So I got to hang out in North Jersey and Pittsburgh and meet all kinds of new kinds of friends and people.
Was that the one with what's his name's brother?
Yeah, that camp is run by John Travolta's brother Joey, who is a special ed teacher and who works with kids and young adults on the autism spectrum. And so I was a supervisor. I helped the kids write their scripts. And I met a lot of really cool people over the course of that I still talk to this day, and I value every moment of that entire 4-week job. Really good year for me. A lot of really good stuff happened in 2016, and then it all kind of went to shit around November. So, whatever. But, yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. And I didn't play a lot of games that year because I'm still not necessarily a gamer, which is why I host. But, yeah.
And that's why I host the Foodlies, because I starve myself.
Oh. Ooh.
That's me.
Ooh. Unless there's any other orders of business to get to beforehand, why don't we dive into the bracket for this year?
Christian, can I share your big news?
I'll share my big news.
Okay.
You have big news.
Yes.
I think someone tied up Graham and put him in the
It's only going to be gone for so long, Christian. Jordan, keep this.
Someone help Graham.
That's not Graham.
Christ.
Woof, woof,
We should
woof.
start a band.
We'll call ourselves the Guttural Utterances, or as
No,
they
this is
say,
just what-
Gutterances.
This is what
Band
Nathan
I
Dick
wanna
sounds
be a
like.
part of.
What's your
You,
news before I make it up for you?
God.
Did you actually have news, Christian, or were you just
Yes.
Ing? Okay.
Yeah, what is it?
I'm pregnant.
No, really.
I'm fucking serious.
I'm gonna tell him if you don't.
I started Persona 5 today.
Oh.
Wow.
Yeah.
Gravy should have known. I just fucking sent you a meme.
Well, when you said you had news,
Graham was tied up in the back.
I thought you were like making an announcement, like, "Oh, I got like a new job," or like, "Oh, I'm doing this."
Yeah, that's what I thought it was gonna be.
He's had a new job for 6 months.
Yeah. And it's a good game so far. But I've only played it for 45 minutes, so I can't really comment on it. So
And
whatever.
yet so much has happened.
Fucking Igor's voice changed, and it threw me off, and I was like, oh my god.
Welcome to my velvet room.
I would always...
Wasn't Igor a character that Taylor played?
Yeah, that's where I got the character from Persona.
Oh, okay.
Wait,
cool.
really?
Yes, we had this conversation.
I didn't know that it was directly a Persona reference.
We have had this. I promise you, I've told you.
And I definitely forgot.
Yeah. No, Jordan, when I go, welcome to the elevator, the thing about Persona is that you go to this place that exists between dream and reality called the Velvet Room. And he goes, welcome to the Velvet Room. My name is Igor. And the form of the Velvet Room reflects the guest's psyche, if you will. So in the third game, it's an elevator.
Okay.
So when I first heard that ASCAT monologue, I'm like, okay, I guess I'm gonna be Igor from the Velvet Room.
Great.
And then
I played Satan or whatever, right?
You were the master.
Yeah, no, the master, and that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, no, that was a very fun ASCAT.
We'll get into the actual bracket now. This is the best of 2016. They go up against each other. You know how it works. We're starting out with a Taylor versus Graham battle. It is Stardew Valley versus Stellaris. Who, pray tell, is going to be going first of the two, or of any of you?
I'll go.
Okay, Taylor will be going first, and I am going to start the 8-minute timer in 3, 2, 1. Taylor, go for it.
I gotta say, looking at this bracket, there's a lot of fun things on here.
Mm-hmm.
I also will say Stellaris may be the thing I'm least interested in, and I know that's...
We know you hate space.
I know. Space bias. I gotta put the space bias in. But I also feel like it's an unfair matchup just because Stardew Valley is Stardew Valley, and I'd like to just take the moment to talk about how great this game is. I've been a Harvest Moon fan probably since 2011, 12-ish, not the longest fan. But when Stardew Valley came out, I was like, oh, so this is going to be like Farmville on Facebook, but like a video game you can purchase. I didn't have expectations for it. And then I just heard nothing but overwhelming praise. And just looking at it from a visual standpoint, it's just so visually pleasing to the eyes. This game is so fucking relaxing, dude. It's just like, to me, it's like Animal Crossing, but better, because you don't have to play it every day. You can take your own pace. You can play it any way you want and still achieve results. There are so many things it does better than Stardew Valley. You harvest. First of all, just to be clear to anyone who doesn't know, you work in corporate America at a soda machine corporation, and your life is miserable. So your dead grandfather gives you the deed to his old farm, and you just become a farmer. You give up everything and start a farm, and you grow crops and raise horses and dig in caves and go fishing, and you can focus on any one of those things or do all of those things.
I'm sorry, there's caves in this game?
There are multiple caves in this game, Nick.
Dungeon crawling.
Is there a story behind these caves?
I should say, I was never interested in playing Stardew Valley, and then I learned that you can go into caves in it.
Yeah, no, you can, in fact, Mick, if you want, you can exclusively focus on spelunking, and that's a totally viable way to profit in the game.
Okay, I might play Stardew Valley.
Yeah. Oh, Stardew Valley is a ton of fun.
You might even find a rat. I don't know.
You can get married. You can divorce your wife and then pay a witch doctor $10,000 to erase her memory to marry her again.
That's like right out of Alan Wake.
evil.
Yeah, it is a little evil. But you don't. I mean, you're not.
I don't even know if I'd say it's evil. It doesn't make any fucking sense.
Listen, Stardew Valley is about giving you the freedom to play how you want with next to no penalty. Like, okay, maybe you'll forget to water your crops and that will fuck you over for profits season a little. But you can't fail this game. You can take it at your own pace, and it is an incredibly relaxing, joyous experience to play. I played it through. It was like the game I mostly played at purchase. It was the only game I had time for, and it's a fucking solid time. I would really like to go back to it because there have been updates, including being able to play cooperatively. And I bought this game for a hot person or two that have not touched it, and may or may not be in this phone call. And our name's Christian. And
well, I'm waiting for everyone else.
Well, Graham has it. Clanky has it. Nick seems to want to have it now. So what are we waiting for?
The Yearlies Stardew Valley server.
Yeah. I mean.
Oh, it's a multiplayer game?
We're getting towards the 4...
It can be.
We're getting towards the 4-minute mark.
All right. I've said my piece. Stardew Valley is peak Harvest Moon farm simulation experience, and I don't really... I think it's incredible. It's incredible for what it's accomplished.
So, since Taylor sold Stardew Valley trying to get the Mick vote, I'm going to do the same.
Oh.
So... Stellaris, Mick, have you ever wanted a game that starts out as Star Trek and ends at Warhammer 40K?
No, actually, I don't like Star Trek.
Boom, boom, boom.
Well, you like 40... Okay, hold on. Second try. So, Stellaris is a game of stories, all of which basically all about what goes out in what is out there in our stars, whether or not it's evil or not. There is one story chain, Mick, that was literally written by one of the creators of Fallen London.
Wait, really? Alexis Kennedy?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Well, now I've...
yes. Very similar to certain things that happen in Fallen London.
Earth is stolen by alien space bats.
Why not?
You can decide what kind of civilization you'll be and what kind of civilization you are heavily affects like what your gameplay options. You could be like the generic, like, oh, we're gonna have peace and make friends with everybody, or you could be a swarm of a hive mind alien purifiers whose only objective is to wipe out all organic life in the galaxy.
Hang on a question. Hang on a minute. This game is does it have is it fully voice acted?
It is not fully voice acted.
Are there is there voice acting in it though?
There is voice acting. There is. You have like an advisor that will like speak.
Is that I might be thinking of another Space 4X strategy game. Mark Hamill isn't in it, is he?
He is not.
Okay, I'm thinking of a different game then.
I was thinking, is this the game that Germo voice acted for? But no.
No.
Oh my god.
We did it, guys! We got our German reference in for the year!
This game...
This is the story of a girl. Hard word association.
Civilization as my go-to, like, I just want to listen to things and play a game, so I'll play Stellaris. Mm-hmm. It's still getting like a lot of support even now. The base game itself is very good, but every time like you buy like a DLC, it just gets better and better and better and better.
Same with Stardew, only their DLC is free.
Not really DLC. It's a game update.
No, but they add a lot of new stuff each time.
Still an update.
I'm trying.
I know you're trying. Listen, arguing about whether or not something is a DLC is not going to like.
Well, I wanted to start by saying in that same vein of this is a perfect like you can just unwind when you have a little time to kill. You can just stop and play this game. Stardew does that too.
Yeah. By the way, Taylor, I have to say, I don't think you need to worry because even if Graham does sway me to Stellaris, I think Stardew's still gonna win.
To be honest, I didn't set out specifically looking to sway you. I just wanted to talk about Stardew, and then Graham was like, "Well, since you swayed Mick," I'm like, "Okay, I guess swaying Mick."
the way the game works, there are 3 phases. There's first phase with your exploration, which is like that's when I say Star Trek, it's more like that, like going to new planets, finding out what their deal is, dealing with it potentially. Second phase, that's where intergalactic conflict comes. But then the third phase comes, and depending on what technology you choose, a threat from beyond the galaxy will come in and try to take over the galaxy. And you can either... there is some very similar creature to Yuzheng Vong.
Yuzheng Vong.
With the certain DLC, you can become the Endgame Crisis as you try to blow up every star in the galaxy.
Oh crap!
You can pull a Palpatine in that you will become a galactic custodian of the Galactic Council. Get gears up more and more power, and you can eventually just decide, you know what, I'm not going to give up my power.
We're past the 8 minutes, by the way.
Yeah, we're at
Alright, we'll do that.
So I don't know if there's any other thoughts that anybody that hasn't spoken might have on these games, or if they haven't played them, or...
Clanky, you played Stardew, right?
Yeah, no, I really love Stardew.
Okay.
Great.
It's a game that's it's like addictive, but like in the best way possible.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
Okay.
Is there a bad way to be addictive? Actually, I just realized. Yes, there is.
Yes, there is.
There are several.
I was more meaning like for a video game,
yeah,
but then I realized that without that clarification, it's a really stupid thing to say.
There are still several.
I see your point.
Unless like Christian or anybody has any final thoughts.
I'll save my thoughts for my vote.
All right, then we'll get to the vote. So we're going to go in the order of. I'm just deciding this now. We are going to go in the order of Taylor, Christian, Clanky, Mick, Graham. Is that clear to everyone? Is that all right with everybody?
Sure.
Yep.
Okay. Taylor, you are up first.
I'll keep it nice and easy. Stardew Valley.
I figured. Christian.
Graham, Stellaris sounds like such a good time, and I'm very interested in playing it. But Stardew Valley, like, inexplicably, despite the fact that I'm not even a fan of games like Animal Crossing, just really seems like something that I could sink 100 or 200 hours into. So I'm going to go with Stardew.
Okay. Clanky.
Sorry to make this anticlimactic, but I'm also voting for Stardew.
There's one game I'm not upset to like lose to. It's Stardew Valley because again,
it's very
good games.
Yeah.
Mick, did which one of them sold you?
I'm gonna because my vote doesn't matter. I'm actually gonna give it to Stellaris.
Oh, okay. Wow. All right.
I'm not really sure which one I want, but because it doesn't matter, I'm like, okay, then it really doesn't matter. I'll give it to the yeah.
Okay. And Graham, I assume you're going with Stellaris.
Yeah, Stellaris.
Okay, 3-2 victory for Stardew Valley.
It's probably because of how Graham chose to play Stardew Valley. He fucking gave in to corporate America.
No, I didn't.
I saw your achievements. You definitely did.
Oh wait, I think I might have like used a cheat to get all the achievements in the game.
Well, that was the battle of the STs.
Sure. Yeah. All right. Moving on to the next matchup. It's better than a battle of the STDs. Moving onwards, we have Hitman, which is a Mick pick, versus Rhythm Heaven Megamix, which is a Christian pick. Who wants to go first in this round?
May I go first?
Sure.
Yeah, Christian will go first, and let me set up the timer. Okay, we are starting this round in 3, 2, 1. Go, Christian.
Similar to Bloodborne from last year, even though this is my pick, honestly, I doubt that I am really the only person representing this game currently, or rooting for its success.
Yeah, I actually forgot to put this on mine because on Wikipedia it doesn't say that it's a game of 2016, so I realized too late that it should have been there.
Yeah. And Rhythm Heaven Megamix is a collaboration. It is a combination of the previous 3 Rhythm Heaven games. About 65 to 70% of it is remastered Rhythm Heaven games from Tengoku, DS, and Fever, and then 25% of it is new games and new extra content. And oh my god, Rhythm Heaven Megamix does every single thing in the book right.
Good.
It shows the majority of the best games ever, with a few stark exceptions that I can't really name right now, but if I were to be reminded of, I would probably point... Oh, Love Lab! Where the fuck was Love Lab? And there were a few exceptions to the inclusions, but most of the inclusions that they had in this game were top notch. The new games were, for the majority of the time, a substantial level of quality, and Rhythm Heaven has this kind of gameplay, where it just, you press the press the buttons, or you press the stylus, or you hit the buttons, or you do whatever, and happiness just enters your brain, and it's like, oh, hello, pure happiness, hello, pure joy, that's Rhythm Heaven. It's like, there's no story in Rhythm Heaven. There's no, like, there are characters, but they hardly say anything.
There's a story.
It's very surface level.
But that is true.
But it exists.
It does exist.
And it's for children. And children are going to think it's cute, helping the little guy get to home.
Yeah, but it's nothing to write home about, because the main draw of Rhythm Heaven is the gameplay. And Rhythm Heaven Megamix adds more to this. Did you think that Rhythm Heaven wasn't challenging enough? Did you think it was too easy? Well, Rhythm Heaven Megamix introduces the challenge trains, which take you through over like 20 or 30 pre-made gauntlets of Rhythm Heaven games with like things like you have to get every single note correctly right, or a monster just devours your screen, or you have to you have to like do this or that with some sort of condition, making things more difficult. Or you can only miss 3 notes or something like that, in like onion pluck, turnip pluck. But there's also a goat. And
there's also a goat.
And the less said about the goat, the better, but I did sink like 20 hours just feeding it. So,
Mick, you don't understand.
Did he say feeding it or eating it?
Feeding it. I am not.
Can I just say, I was fine until the line, the less said about the goat, the better.
Yeah, I'll pass off the mic to someone else who wants to talk about Megamix.
Could I say something?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I do really love Rhythm Heaven Megamix, because I love Rhythm Heaven. But I will say, I do really dislike how much it's bursting in, like, originality. And I don't mean, like, in the sense of the fact that it brought new games over. Like, I'm okay with that. But I feel like the new games were, like, some of them were really good, but the ones that aren't good, like, are really just kind of, like, boring and lame. I think the fruit catching game where you're, like, the 2 people catching fruits. The one where you're, like, the ghost in the floor trying to, like, shoot basketballs, you know? And I know how, like, bizarre this sounds, but, like, if you've played them, you know.
But Kittens is great, right?
Kittens is really good.
Chameleon game is, or whatever the fucking game where you have the chameleon on your finger is great.
Wood shopping one, pretty fun.
Yeah.
Sad Bear is sad.
Super Samurai Slice.
Sad Bear's cute.
I don't think Samurai Slice is original.
No, Super Samurai Slice.
I mean, listen, I don't remember disliking any of them, and maybe not all of them were as memorable, but to me, most of these come down to being able, functioning as rhythm games, because there are a couple of Rhythm Heaven games that I just cannot figure out the rhythm for. I do not have a great sense of rhythm and still love this game. And it's a bit of a shame to admit because most of them are Christian's favorite Rhythm Heaven games. But,
I mean, this is probably my 3rd favorite Rhythm Heaven game, if I'm being honest.
I mean, it's my 1st favorite, and I thought having Fever on here was redundant because this one's so damn good.
I just think that Fever's better because it's bursting with more originality, but I'll stop there.
Yeah, we're more than halfway, so I want to give Nick time to
I'll just say to transition to Mick and Hitman. It's a good thing this is Hitman 1, which I know is not Mick's favorite, because I can only see this going one way.
Well, Mick.
So yeah, you are correct in that Hitman 1 is not my favorite Hitman. How I would rate the Hitman games are, number 1 is Hitman 2. I'm talking specifically about the new trilogy.
Yeah.
The World of Assassination trilogy. But so, Hitman, what's it called again? First is Hitman 2, then Hitman 3, and then Hitman 1. That being said, Hitman 2016, which is the one we're talking about, is still a really good time. Well, it doesn't have the fantastic variety of tools that and features that and gimmicks that Hitman 3 has, and it doesn't have the stellar level design that Hitman 2 has. Hitman, incidentally, by the way, I've been playing Hitman as we speak. But yeah, look, I'll try and keep this separate from the other games, so I won't compare and contrast them too much because it's kind of beyond the scope of this argument. But Hitman is almost everything I ever wanted in a stealth game.
Ooh.
Now it very much depends what we're talking about in terms of stealth games. Because like I also have to keep in mind like something like Thief, but Thief is a very different kind of stealth game, where it's all about like sneaking past. In terms of like a infiltration simulator, Hitman just goes above and beyond because of your ability to pretend to be other people. Just the and on top of that, even though it's such a sandbox game. Not really in the sense that it's a big wide open world, but in the sense actually in some ways it's more of a sandbox than certain quote unquote sandbox games, because it's literally like, here's a sandbox. You got a bunch of tools in it, do whatever the hell you want. Like, there is a goal, I guess, in the levels, but like,
What do you mean? Yes, of course there is.
No, I know, but like, as in, there's no like steps for your way towards that. The game's kind of just like, okay, here's a screwdriver. You can do whatever you want with it. You can unscrew things, or you can stab people with it, or you can throw one from across the room and have it embed in someone's skull.
I feel like Mick is the type of player to really get the most out of these games, because he really role plays as Agent 47. There have been so many times when Mick is like, "Hey, I'm running a bar right now. If anyone wants to just watch me tend bar."
Yeah, I forgot it. Yeah, no. So I occasionally did that as well, where I would just do stupid things. Where I would just start up a game and then like, not even like, I would just like go around helping people and shit.
To be fair though, this is Hitman 2.
Yeah, but I mean, you can do those things in Hitman 1 as well.
You just do better.
But like I said, I do remember I had multiple conversations with you about this game, and you would complain about the map design a lot.
So that's the thing. I do complain about the map design. However, almost for the most part, that is me complaining about the map design in comparison to Hitman 2.
Right.
And Hitman 2, I'm firmly of the opinion, has the greatest map design, period.
Wow.
Like, I think I might have said this before sometime, but I believe that the first level of Hitman 2, the Miami, is the best designed level in any video game.
Whoa, high praise.
That is high praise.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, this is Hitman 1.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it is Hitman 1. But that's my point is that it is, it's like comparing Portal 1 and Portal 2. It's like they're both in unfortunate positions because they're being compared to Portal 1 and Portal 2.
Right, but right now we're comparing Hitman to Rhythm Heaven Megamix.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I would just say that, I mean, look, I know a bunch of you are Rhythm Heaven fans, and so I probably can't convince. I'm pretty sure Graham is already on my side. But I don't know. I don't think I certainly can't convince Christian, and I probably can't convince Clanky and Taylor. You seem to be kind of against.
Let me
not against Hitman, but more for Rhythm Heaven.
Oh, I mean, yeah, it's a little unfortunate, because it would be cool to vote for Hitman, because I actually, like, of a lot of the things you're a big fan of, you've really swayed me on Hitman, but Rhythm Heaven Megamix, man.
Yeah.
I mean,
here's the thing. If Hitman does wind up in losers bracket, I think it has a good chance of going pretty far.
Yeah.
But what's going on? If it doesn't win, I'm not going to be too sad, because it's Hitman 1.
Right.
Which isn't to say that I don't think it's good. It's just like, look, if Hitman 2 died in losers, I mean, I would cry.
Then you'd shoot WarioWare DIY.
Yeah, exactly. We're past
Hitman
the
1 is the WarioWare DIY of Hitman games.
Oh my god.
That must mean it's the best one.
WarioWare DIY is our mascot game.
We're past the 8 on this one. Is there anybody that hasn't talked this round that wants to say anything about any of these two games?
I enjoy Hitman.
Thanks, Graham.
Thank you, Graham. If we're all wrapped up there, we'll go to the voting. Taylor, you're up first.
I actually didn't like Rhythm Heaven the first time I played it, but I gave it a second chance, and it really changed my heart. And every sequel was a little better. And Megamix, I feel like, really elevated Rhythm Heaven to the point of God tier, where if there is another Rhythm Heaven, I will probably nut.
Damn.
That escalated quickly.
Yeah.
I didn't know what I was gonna say, but
Wow. All right. I assume you're going with Rhythm Heaven.
I am
Christian,
going with Rhythm Heaven. Yes.
Christian.
Hitman sounds really fun, but you know,
It's
like,
Rhythm Heaven. You don't have to explain yourself.
exactly.
Yeah.
I made a fucking YouTube video about Rhythm Heaven. I'm gonna vote for the fucking Rhythm Heaven game.
Clanky.
Yeah, I mean, Rhythm Heaven might not be my favorite. Rhythm Heaven Megamix might not be my favorite Rhythm Heaven, but
By the way, you say it's your third favorite. In the U.S., that's the worst.
yeah, I guess so.
That's a
Yeah, but it's still Rhythm Heaven because I love Rhythm Heaven.
malicious comment.
Mick, I think I know where you're
Yeah.
going. Yeah, and Graham.
Hitman.
3-2, Rhythm Heaven Megamix.
Simultaneously, we could have never gotten Mick onto Rhythm Heaven's side because of Mick's relationship with rhythm games in general.
Right.
Not necessarily. It really depends on what, like, it would really depend what Rhythm Heaven was up against.
Right. So the next one is a Clanky versus Mick matchup. And it is Sid Meier's Civilization 6 versus Death Road to Canada. Who wants to go first in this round?
If you don't mind, I would like to go first.
Sure, go ahead.
I'm giving it to Clanky. Okay. We are going to start this round in 3, 2, 1. Clanky, go for it.
So I think everyone has the roguelike that they really, really love, and mine is Death Road to Canada. I fully admit that it might get, like, destroyed in this bracket, because I don't think many people have heard of or play this game. I really like the game. It has amazing customization options that really can change your run. The thing I like about it is a lot of roguelikes have, like, characters that you can choose as, like in Isaac, right? You choose a different character that, like, has different stats or whatever. Where in Death Road to Canada, those characters exist, but you create them. So that's, like, something that I think is pretty unique, because you can make, like, people you know, or, like characters that you know, or, like, whatever. So it's really fun in that regard. And there's also, like, pre-made characters that you can bump into that either are, like, randomly generated or like, what are they like? They're like bootleg versions of, like, actual characters. So, like, instead of, like, Link from Zelda, you'll get, like, Lunk or something.
Yeah.
Or, like, instead of Cloud, I think his name is Nimbus, like, from Final Fantasy. Anyway, it has, like, a bunch of things like that.
Long from Pennsylvania.
I'm pretty sure.
You can make Lonk from Pennsylvania in this game.
You can make anyone you want. I actually played it without naming anyone because it just felt like work to me, to be honest.
No, like, I still, like, enjoy it, though. Like, that was a big reason why I played it, but that's not, like, the only reason why it was enjoyable. Because, like, you also had the actual game itself, which was, like, a mix of Oregon Trail with, like, sections where you, like, go dungeon crawling, essentially. But instead of, like, dungeons, you're, like, exploring, like, wrecked hospitals, or, like, a little neighborhood, or, like, a gun shop or something, or, like, a mall, you know? So you can bump into people on the way, and they can, like, help you. There's, like, the combat is, like, a little weird, but it's a good weird, in my opinion. It feels a little bit, like, delayed, but not in, like, a way you can't predict. And after you get, like, accustomed to certain weapons, you can, like, kind of suss out exactly, like, the best weapons you should take for the time being, and, like, you can build, like, favorites. Certain weapons have advantages over others. There's also, like, guns, and the gunplay, I'll admit, is really weird, but once you get used to it, like, it's really not that bad. But that might just be my bias as well. Yeah.
Can I, in response to that, and Clanky, keep in mind, I may even end up voting for this game, but I do have to say, I don't entirely agree about getting used to the combat, because I find that it's specifically designed to be clunky on purpose, and sometimes I find it detrimental. Like, let me just say, Death Road to Canada, I feel like, may have been, like, one of the first roguelikes that, like, had me seek out other roguelites. And that's both a good and a bad thing, because A, it got me interested in the genre. That's a good thing in its favor, and it taught me the addictive nature. But at the same time, it was also partially because I thought that I could play a better roguelike.
I don't know. I think I agree with you that the combat is clunky, but I don't see that as a bad thing because it's not like a clunky that you can't get used to. You know what I mean?
No. In some degrees, it's almost like a rhythm.
And I agree with you there, but I think that's like another reason why I like it.
I don't know. It's just the consequences of getting hit are pretty severe in this one. Listen, I beat the game. I had a good time. But like, it's not a roguelike. Like once I beat it once, I didn't feel like I wanted to beat it again. And I feel like I've learned that roguelikes are the type of games where beating it multiple times is part of the fun.
Hey,
and
phrasing!
Listen, the Oregon Trail stuff is great. You can fucking tell people to cool it over and over and over again. And it usually gets your ass kicked, but if you tell people to cool it enough times, something cool will happen.
I also, like, I feel like, I don't know, I don't think the Oregon Trail stuff is necessarily, like, as random or crazy. I feel like it's,
I like it.
I feel like depending on your stats and stuff that you build throughout, like, the game, like, you can, like, have advantages in certain categories or whatever.
Yeah, no, that element of the game, the sense of personal growth, each run feels good. And simultaneously, it is heart-wrenching when you fail, because it's fairly long for one run. All things considered. Listen, it's a good game. It's not my favorite roguelike, but I do think it's good.
Okay.
Damn, I love this game.
All right,
I love this game.
We're at the halfway point, so I want to move us towards Civilization 6.
It ain't Civ 5.
That's for
You're
sure.
right, it isn't, but it's still Civilization.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so, I mean... So, Civilization 6 is one of the games that I have invested the most time into. I probably have invested more time into Civ 5, honestly, but look, we're not really... comparing it to another game in the franchise is, that's not the point of this.
No.
The point is compare it to Death Road to Canada. I have over 500 hours in this game, so I know what I'm talking about. And I would say it is not the best Civilization game, but it's still a Civilization game. In some ways, it has the most developed mechanics of any Civilization game. I think, though, however, that being said, I think some of its new mechanics need a little bit of work. So I don't really know what to say about it because it's a Civilization game, and I kind of have to compare it to the other ones because most of you guys know what the other ones are like.
Oh, yeah, we talked a lot about it in a previous Yearlies as well.
Yeah. But so, Civilization 6, in terms of the things it does differently than its predecessor, it actually does make a lot of changes to the formula, and actually quite a lot of them I think are for the better. Number one, and this is good, I know Clanky actually literally hates almost everything I'm going to mention. So first off, your workers are consumed when they build buildings. I think this both makes sense, and it also is. I think this both makes sense, and it is also really good for game balance because that way you can't just build one builder and then have it build everything forever. You constantly have to keep hiring new workers to build things.
However,
how it works.
counterpoints. I loved in that Civ 5 how the more workers you get, the more you have to upkeep, the more workers you get, and the more workers you get, the more you have to upkeep your empire. And I think having almost an army of workers creates this sort of dilemma where you have to should I delete workers to make less food demand and
relevant stuff.
Yeah,
I 100% agree.
Okay.
I do love. Listen, Civilization is Civilization, and Civ 6. I'm sure, if I really.
Can I talk about what I think are the good points before you guys tear it apart first?
Yeah, sorry. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Okay. Another thing is that cities are no longer a single place. And that rather you build a city center, and then from there you expand out into larger and you build districts to add on top of that. So the city kind of expands across the map. Which is, I think in a lot of ways mimics the way cities actually grow a lot better in that it's never going to be concentrated in this single space. It kind of has to grow and change, especially once you get to higher levels and you have to start building suburbs and stuff. And you really sprawl across the map. And that introduces a much more, just as interesting, I think, a dilemma of trying to manage building districts to contain your population, while also being able to support them with resources. Likewise, you can't build certain buildings in the city center. You have to build them in certain districts. which means that you can only build a certain limited amount of districts per city, which I think for all the bits of complexity that they remove, I think they add it back in different but interesting ways. That being said, like I don't think it's perfect. I do think there are I do think it has problems, but you'd also admit that Death Road to Canada is not a perfect game. In fact, Taylor has gone on about how it's not a perfect game.
Yeah, but at the same time, there is this addictive nature to Death Road to Canada that like kept me engaged with it throughout my time. The only true thing that brought me out of the experience was some creepy face shit that I didn't like. But
but I don't think you can really use addictiveness when argue against civilization.
Yeah, again, I have
Yeah,
520 hours in it.
No, because I feel like I mean, of course I can, and I just did. I feel like it's a matter of like a roguelike, whatever you want to call it. They carry a very addictive nature to it in general, and some people, maybe not this one specifically, but people put just as many hours into these types of games that they will into a Civ game. The amount of hours I've seen people pour into something like Binding of Isaac Rebirth is off the charts. I'll grant you that Death Road to Canada may have a little less to offer, but for someone who's into a game like that, you can probably get that same amount of enjoyment, because much like Sid Meier's, every run is different.
Clanky, when you get the chance, share how many hours you have in Death Road.
I'm pretty sure I have currently I think I have over 60 or 70, but like that doesn't include the 30 or like not 30, but it was like a good solid like 20 hours that I didn't log because like I was offline when I was playing.
And keep in mind, like finishing a run is about an hour, so he's played 100 runs worth of games, and like a run in Civ Meier's is longer than that. So in some aspects, the amount of times you're replaying the game kind of balances out.
Right.
But I mean, I do agree that like when arguing about addictiveness with Civ, like Civ is definitely like sucks you, in my opinion. At least Civ 5 sucks me in a bit more, and I can imagine that if I got into Civ 6, it would do the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying. Listen, Clanky, I'm the only one on your side here.
I'm just trying to analyze it from both angles because
me too.
Of me to say that like I don't like Civ 6.
Yeah, no, and my perspective here is I said nice things about Civ 5 despite having not played it last time, but at the same time, why would I play Civ 6 if I haven't even played Civ 5?
Ooh.
That's not actually that's not a good argument because it's not like
no. Why would I, Taylor?
Why would you, Taylor? So, I think in actually a lot of ways Civ 6 is actually more beginner friendly than Civ 5 is.
Okay.
I think Civ 6 is a bit more like it's a bit easier to get into if you're not like a really big into 4X strategy games. In some ways, it's a little bit. I don't want to say it's easier. But like there are certain things that like they're not presented in as complex of a way.
Right.
I don't disagree with you. It's not that I don't believe you, but I'm just going to ask for the clarity's sake. Christian and Graham, do you agree that 6 is a better place to start?
I have
Honestly,
no idea.
I think you start with either.
I never played 6.
I can speak on that too, and I would say that Civ 6 I feel like is a bit more beginner friendly.
Okay.
But I started on Civ 5.
All right.
And I should say I started on like my first Civ game was Civ 4.
Okay.
Okay. It's probably voting time, right?
Yeah, we're a little bit over, so unless anybody has any last
minute. This is only a little bit over.
I think we're always a little bit over.
Well, I'm being modest. We're quite over.
Oh, okay. So... Then say that.
Well, I didn't want to hurt anybody's feelings.
You won't hurt our feelings. It's the truth. And the truth,
right. It's been done for 5 minutes now, so why don't we go to the vote? Okay. Taylor.
You know what? Come back to me.
Okay. Christian.
Come back to me too, honestly.
Okay. Clanky.
Okay.
Death Road to Canada.
Okay. Mick.
Civilization.
Okay. Graham.
Civ.
Okay. Taylor, we're back to you.
Yeah, I gotta go Death Road to Canada.
I mean, look, it's a game you played.
Yeah, that's kind of what it is.
What is this, Alien Isolation? We're back to Christian, and it's tied up.
Sorry, buddy.
This is the hardest vote that I've had to do in a long time. I think I switched which one I was going to vote for like 8 times during the discussion. Like, Death Road, Civ, Death Road, Civ.
Christian, go with whatever your heart is telling you.
Just give me a few
What if
seconds.
his heart says Civ?
Then that's okay. Then at least I can
Okay.
say Death Road lost admirably.
I'm gonna say
Yeah.
whatever loses is probably also gonna lose in the losers bracket.
If I had to think of which game, when I look at the title, I get the stronger release of the Happy Chemical. It's Death Road to Canada.
Wow. Death
my
Road to Canada beats Sid.
But that's only because Clanky's been filling your head with lies.
Oh my god.
Shut up, you're wrong. You're wrong. Incorrect.
Read it
It's a great
Deceit.
game.
Mick is a
Deceit.
Death Road to Canada conspiracy theorist.
Yeah, I blame the whole thing.
Sounds like an
What are we
angry
gonna
video
do?
game nerd.
Blame Canada.
Blame
Canada.
Canada. It seems
Yeah.
that everything's all right.
This
Alright.
is a South Park thing?
Yes.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
We go on now to,
Horses.
well, folks, I don't think we've had a matchup with two incredibly different games like this one. It is Doom 2016, submitted by Clanky, versus the Jackbox Party Pack 3, submitted by Taylor. And it's a rare matchup where I've actually played one of these games. So, who wants to go first in this round?
Well, Jordan, how did you enjoy Doom?
He rip and teared.
Good one.
Yeah, oh my god, who wants to go first in this one?
I mean, if no one else has any ideas, I can just talk about the Jackbox Party Pack 3 for like a minute or two.
Okay, and that's perfectly all right. We'll start this round in 3, 2, 1. Go, Christian.
The Jackbox Party Pack 3 is the best Jackbox. And that's it.
Ooh.
It has TKO. It has Trivia Murder Party, the best trivia game. Did I mention that TKO is one of, if not the best drawing game? And
Okay.
you're okay.
It has Quiplash, it has Espionage, and that's it. All 4 games.
Guess yeah, it has Faking It, which everyone sleeps
No,
on.
that's not real.
Faking It.
Taking it is fun.
That's not a real game.
Everyone sleeps on Faking It because everyone like tried it once and then didn't like it because they didn't know how to play and then they gave up on it forever.
Oh no,
As a
I love
stand,
Faking It.
I
love
don't
Faking It.
know what. I don't think I've ever seen anyone play Faking It. I actually don't know what this game even is.
It's okay, so I'll spend my time explaining Faking It. So basically, you get like 6 people. You all have to be in the same room to play this game.
Oh.
And basically, there's like one traitor. There's an imposter among us, and
Oh, for fuck's sake.
you have to figure out who the imposter is by answering questions that the TV gives you. All of the innocent people will get the normal question, while the faker or imposter or whatever will get a slightly altered question. Then at the count of 3, everyone answers the question by one of 3 means. Either they make a funny face, they stick up like numbers from their hand, like they point 2 or 4, or they point to someone. And those are the 3 ways that you can answer a question. And you have to decide based off of everyone's answers who's being a lying little bitch.
That
and-
actually does sound kind of fun.
Yeah,
It does.
and, then-
It-
and it's one of those things where it's like, a lot of the times people just give up as soon as at the slightest bit of resistance, and that's why people don't like the game that much, because it's like, the traitor was you. Oh, you got
But it's
me.
not just that, man. It's like if we're gonna play Jackbox 3, it's like there are 4 just way better games that I would much rather spend my time playing, because I know I'm only gonna get people to play Jackbox with me for like an hour, and then one person's gonna leave, and then 2 people are gonna leave, and I'm gonna get 1 round of Quiplash in, and it's just never enough Quiplash.
But it's going to be a really good round of Cliplash, though.
I don't
Also,
think.
we
I
haven't mentioned Trivia Murder Party.
Well, Trivia Murder Party is one of the
Murder
best
Party
games
is-
they ever made.
We don't have to
I
talk
like
about it.
that.
We all know what it is.
Yeah,
Pretty
it's
hard to
one of the best games they ever made.
Yeah, I mean,
This is the best Jackbox pack.
it's pretty dang good. I like Espionage more than most.
Espionage is pretty good.
And I gotta tell you, this game like incentivized the multiplayer spirit within me. Actively being able to play this at college, and like the memories I was able to form over this. Like I remember the first time I played Trivia Murder Party, and they like say if you they give you the prisoner's dilemma. If nobody takes the money, nobody dies. But if you take the money, I'll kill everyone else. And I remember I had this like mental battle with someone I was playing with, where I was able to predict their movements, and I ended up fucking everyone over except for him. because we had this like weird, who's gonna fuck over who relation. It was funny. It's just it was just like those kind of memories that I feel like are only generated from Jackbox. The shirts are funny, although I suck at drawing, so I sometimes hate it, but I also really like it. It's complicated.
The best shirts are the ones that are terrible drawings.
Yeah.
Well, Snaz was not born from this Jackbox, but listen, this Jackbox Party Pack is just very important to, I think, a lot of people in this group.
Yes, definitely.
That being said, Doom 2016.
Thank you, because we're literally at the halfway point.
Oh, okay.
Is so fucking good, and I don't like first-person shooters that much, but Doom is like this. Doom infuses this arcadey style to every map that constantly that fills you with ecstasy at every turn. You constantly are moving. You're constantly fucking like ripping open enemy terrors, like right-sticking enemies to context-sensitive, open them up feels really good as you chain together combos of kills, getting ammo from chainsawing people. There's just this amazing flow, and the maps are super fun to explore. They hide secrets so perfectly in this game. I didn't think I would like this game as much as I did, and the only thing that made it better was its sequel, but we're not there yet, and I felt like there's enough span of time between this and Doom Eternal that I can take the time to sing Doom's praises because Doom is so good. Clanky, go ahead. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, no. Yeah, you kind of just said it all. Doom is a great game. I'm not really a big first-person shooter guy either, but Doom really sucked me in. And I played the Switch version. And if I played the Switch version and I'm still saying that this game is great,
that's a really...
how you know it's great.
Yeah.
I just want to say, for me personally, I actually prefer this game to Doom Eternal.
I can understand why. This game is, I think, a little like it's a little less intense in some aspects.
I think Doom 2016 definitely benefits from like the less is more kind of thing. I feel like it's just a much more concise experience.
I mean, we'll get to Doom Eternal
because it's less platforming.
No, I love the platforming in Doom Eternal, and I can't
know why.
Yeah.
So goddamn clunky.
It's really not. I think it's really, really good and some of the best first-person platforming. This is not the conversation. Okay.
No, it's Doom versus.
I don't get to be mad in these things enough. Let me have my one little.
Yeah, actually, true. Let him get mad.
Over first-person platforming.
Yeah.
Listen, if there was something to get mad at, I think it's worth it.
Listen, comparing these two is tough.
Mm-hmm.
These both, one is one of the best multiplayer experiences. One is one of the best first-person shooter experiences. It really, I think, depends on how you're going to play Jackbox that day, because you're not. It really depends on the group you bring in, the amount of time you get to spend on it, and how many people are not having a good time. Sometimes someone just doesn't want to play Jackbox, you know?
Right.
And I like user words.
Yeah.
What year did that come out?
2017, but it won't be on
that'll
the
be
list.
on there next
But
year.
it'll be on your honorable
It,
mentions.
it
Sure.
won't be. Oh, well, I guess Jordan could put it on, but...
I might, actually.
Oh, that'd be so fun. I would.
I might throw that in right after we're done as my my wild card. Any other last thoughts on either of these games? Because I know there was a bit of a dearth of talking. Anybody who hasn't talked about either of these?
I'll just add. I think there's a minimalistic experience to Doom's story, and I kind of appreciate that because, like the first thing you do in Doom is you wake up and a guy is feeding you lore about the world, and you just break the transmission because and it's like saying, yeah, you know what, you can just fucking shoot people and have a really good time. You don't have to pay too close attention if you don't want to.
Yeah, exposition is just there, you know.
Yeah, it's great characterization of without saying words.
Right.
Yeah.
Are we all good?
I'm
Is there
good.
any
I think so.
Okay. Let's get to the vote. Taylor.
The thing is, I feel like Come back to me again.
Okay, Christian.
The Jackbox Party Pack 3 is number 19 on my top 50 favorite games of all time.
Always has to go there.
Always comes back to the top 50. And Doom is not on my top 50 because I never played it. So Jackbox Party Pack 3.
All right, Clanky.
I mean, I love I love Jackbox.
Deathbox.
Deathbox Canada Pack.
I love Jackbox Pack. It's probably the best Jackbox, if we're being honest. Because
it is.
has, like, the best group of games.
I will say 7 is growing on me.
It is.
7 is second best.
I still really do love 3. But I mean, I don't know. I still love Doom a lot more, so I think I'm voting for Doom.
Okay. Mick?
So, personally, I think I might possibly like Jackbox Party Pack 7 better than 3. And that's all. But the thing is that would be true if the only game was what's it called again?
Champed Out?
Champed Out.
Or Talking Points?
No, Champed Out.
It was Champed
Talking
Out.
Points is also good.
Talking Points is great.
Yeah. But no, Champed Out is probably, in my opinion, is the best strong game. I think I like it even more than TKO.
Wow.
Yeah.
But what's it called again? I think I'm gonna vote for Jackbox just because I like Doom. I didn't love Doom. I can see why a lot of people do, but it's not it wasn't exact. I don't know. I didn't get like into Doom. I played it once and I'm like, cool, this was fun, and then I didn't continue playing.
Okay.
So yeah.
Graham.
Doom.
And Taylor, you are the tiebreaker.
Fuck, man. I feel like as the Jackbox franchise evolves and adds more and more games, it becomes harder and harder to go back to older ones as often. In other words, I feel like the variety continues to grow and grow to the point that sometimes it feels a little redundant to play an older game. Not that you won't and have a good time, but like Jackbox 3 has Quiplash 2. Jackbox 7 has Quiplash 3. Quiplash 3 is better than Quiplash 2. It's weird. There are some times when like you get exhausted from playing a Jackbox game, I guess.
Yeah,
I've only played
how many Jackbox games that are out, we still find ourselves coming back to 3 specifically.
When did we last play 3 though?
Well, that's a memory question that I won't be able to answer for you.
Well, I think it's been over a year.
I don't think it's been that long. At least not for me.
I prefer single-player games to multiplayer games. I think it's got to be Doom.
It was worth a try.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
3-2.
I don't like
Doom
that decision.
It's okay. Jackbox could still clean up in the losers.
Yeah, that's our hopes.
Yeah. So this next one is a Graham versus Clanky battle and a battle of 2 sequels to long-running series. We have Dark Souls 3 versus Uncharted 4, A Thief's End. Who wants to go first in this one?
Could I? I just want to... I won't go too long, but there is something I want to start with.
Okay, I'll hold you to that. Taylor's going to start us off. 3, 2, 1, go Taylor.
To date this a little bit, we've started editing these so that we can hear back previous yearlies, and I was listening to the very first one. Sorry about my mic, by the way.
It's okay.
And I was listening to Mick describe BioShock Infinite as a game you must play on hard. I think Uncharted is a game you should play on easy.
You know what? I've never played an Uncharted game. I think I already know where you're going with this, though.
Uncharted is a fun game, but Uncharted is a very unoriginal. When it comes to its gameplay, it's just a third-person shooter, and I suck. And I can't stress this enough. I suck at third-person shooters.
Oh, there's another part of that sentence.
And you, well.
No, you don't.
And when I first started Uncharted games, I played on normal mode, and I would die so many times within the span of seconds, and it was so infuriating. I would miss time jumps. I would get shot because my health runs out so fast. I don't want to play Uncharted for its challenge. You play Uncharted for its story, because while Uncharted 4 is a great franchise, it's an even greater set of movies. And Uncharted 4 is probably the best movie of them all.
Well, to combat that, Dark Souls is a great game.
Dare he give him the prize?
And
Dark
that's the game.
Souls 3,
Okay.
if I can, would it be all right if I talked about it for a bit?
Sure, I said I would be brief.
Well, hold on. Can I speak on Uncharted 4 as someone who plays it and does enjoy the gameplay?
Sure, go ahead.
It's not that I don't enjoy the gameplay, I just don't enjoy the challenge.
Well, as someone who does enjoy the challenge, this is interesting because this was my first Uncharted game. Because I got this. I don't think the Nathan Drake trilogy was out yet. But like I played it. Because I love. I remember like back in my early days of like a cringy Xbox fanboy. I tried to like hate the Uncharted series. Like, oh, it's just Indiana Jones. Until I realized, like, yeah, it's Indiana Jones, but like people are more. There's like more assholes and criminals in it. It's great.
Yeah.
Billy's not there.
This game, even what?
Sorry, Indiana Jones reference.
We just watched Temple of Doom the other night.
Nice.
We are going to die.
This game, it adds like a grapple hook that this and BioShock Infinite are probably two of the times that I've really, really felt like, okay, I am playing this and this is actively really, really fun rather than just something I am enjoying. The puzzles in this game makes Guybrush Threepwood apparently a canonical pirate in the Uncharted world, which is hilarious.
What?
Is that true?
There's like paintings that basically is Guybrush Threepwood, but like the name has been like taken away because obviously I don't think they have the rights to say that's Guybrush, but everything is basically pointing to the fact that it is Guybrush Threepwood.
That's pretty awesome.
So this game, it also is just a very interesting story about two brothers, and how they play off of each other. How one was the elder, but now through circumstances is almost kind of like treated like the younger brother, which is very interesting. It has a villain that I thought like, all right, you're a generic villain, you're doing your job, and then at the end of the game, you're like, oh, holy shit, you're like one of my favorite villains ever.
Yeah.
As well as like a secondary antagonist that is probably the most fun like you'll ever getting your ass beaten by someone in a video game.
High praise.
One of the things I really will commend Uncharted for is in every Uncharted game every Uncharted game is essentially a treasure hunt, and the characters are explaining the timeline that led up to the discovery of the treasure, and I never cared about the treasure hunt itself. I always cared about the current narrative instead of the past. But the story behind Uncharted 4's treasure hunt and the relationship between the characters of the past and where they end up at the end, I actually found that the most interesting. So as a result, I was able to appreciate both elements of the story, which is not something I had in another Uncharted game. I think it's also important to remember that this is the narrative end to the series, and it does that pretty satisfyingly. It's a very good Thief's End. I really liked this one. You can play Crash Bandicoot for a level. That's pretty nice.
What?
Just play it twice.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Naughty Dog, so.
Oh.
Yeah, the characters play the first level of Crash Bandicoot.
But you can control it. It's pretty cool.
Beautiful. We need to talk about Dark Souls 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'll try to keep it quick, but Dark Souls 3 was a game that I was convinced I wasn't going to like until I played it, and it turned out being one of my favorite games of all time. I'm at the final boss right now, and I still haven't beaten it yet, admittedly, but I don't need to beat the final boss to tell you that I loved this game. which I'm sure once I beat the final boss, I'll get like that gratifying feeling. But anyway, that being said, I just like as my own personal thing, I have a hard time remembering like my favorite parts of bosses in most video games. Not to say like, you know, because I just like I'm not interested in fighting them or anything, but just because like they don't stick with me as much as like the level design and the story and the characters and all that. So Dark Souls is like one of the exceptions. Like I remember the Crystal Sage, I remember Pontiff, I remember Lorien and Lothric. Like it's just like I don't know. It really makes the worlds very memorable, and it's, you know, it's very confusing if you just kind of blaze through it, but if you really dig for the lore, you really can find out a bunch of interesting things and like why certain things are certain ways and everything. And like I don't want to, you know, get into it too much because Dark Souls lore is a lot, but either way, it's just like yeah, like the characters and story are great and everything, but also like the gameplay, I didn't expect it to hook me in the way it did, but like it's definitely the most addicting and best part of the entire game. Like it looks like it's very like slow, but when you play it, you realize it's like that, not necessarily as a hindrance, but because like you really do feel in control of your character in a way I've never felt in another video game before. In the sense of like, I feel like every time I die, it's really just because of my own inability rather than like, you know, like the game like cheesing me out or something like that. So I just, yeah, Dark Souls 3 is one of my favorite games of all time, and I'm very happy I played it. And even if you don't think you like a game like Dark Souls, I still recommend you play it because it surprised me.
Good. All right. Anybody have last thoughts on either of these games?
Can I actually also speak on Dark Souls 3?
Yes, that's what I meant.
Dark Souls 3, I think is basically like my From Software boot camp. I played this last year. I rented it from my library on my PS4. I had tried it like back in high school, but I think I messed up my build and I couldn't get into it. This was like the farthest I ever gotten in a Dark Souls game. I got up to, I was very much stuck against the Dancer of the Boreal Valley. I hope to one day, I'll probably rent from a library again, hopefully defeat her and defeat it. But yeah, this was basically, for a good portion last year, my life was just rewatching Smallville and playing Dark Souls 3 at the same time.
That is one of the most Graham things I've ever heard.
Yeah, that's pretty Graham.
Sounds like a fun type, though.
I think that's the reason, like, that finally, that training paid off for me this year in Elden Ring, so I'll be very thankful for that. Even though, spoiler alert, I will vote for Uncharted 4, this is another one on this list that is a very tough choice for me.
Okay.
I think for me, it's just this isn't much different from the conversations we've been having about Pokemon, but this is the fourth Souls game that's made it onto this, and it since I haven't played any of them, they still kind of all meld together for me. And if I didn't vote for Bloodborne, I probably can't vote for this one. I know that I think people say that Dark Souls 3 is the best of the three Dark Souls games, but that's unfortunately for me, that's not enough.
Okay.
But I will say that I feel like Uncharted is at its best with its story. And like you will have fun with its gameplay. Its gameplay is not necessarily my favorite gameplay, but I feel like it's much more accessible if you play it on easy, which is true for most things. But I just feel like you'll also just save yourself a lot of frustration because like you shouldn't die as frequently in the span of time as you do when I played Uncharted 1 and 2. That rhymed. But Uncharted 4 is the best story and probably the best Uncharted game.
Great.
I am ready to vote.
Fantastic. We're moving one down because we would do that every 4. So, Christian, you're up.
Dark Souls 3 is another one of my favorite games that I've never played. I know so much about this fucking game. So many different fucking boss fights. According to Mick, it is similar in ways to Bloodborne. And I don't give a single fuck about Uncharted. Sorry, Graham. I'm going to vote for Dark Souls 3.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say Dark Souls, Dark Souls 3 is the closest game other than Bloodborne to Bloodborne.
Yeah, that's all I need to hear, honestly.
That's very exciting for me because I can't wait to play Bloodborne. It's my vote, yeah?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
I'm going to vote for Dark Souls 3 as well.
Okay. Mick?
Dark Souls 3.
Okay. Graham
Uncharted.
and Taylor.
Well, I guess since this doesn't matter, you may call it a thief's end.
Well, it's not the end yet because it's still going to do some losers bracket stuff. But yes, 3-2, Dark Souls 3.
It's all right. I'm not that bitter about it. I just casually enjoy Uncharted.
Okay. Well, we move on now to a. This is one I think you more than casually enjoy, Taylor, because this is a Taylor versus Mick round. This is Ratchet and Clank 2016 versus SUPERHOT, and I want to make sure that you all know this, but SUPERHOT is written in all caps, and I don't know if it's supposed to be like that. I don't know if it's
It is.
It is.
I checked.
But so henceforth, I will be referring to it as SUPERHOT.
Well, actually, the pronunciation is super hot.
Super hot.
It's not SUPERHOT.
No, it's super hot.
Hot.
SUPERHOT.
Super hot. Super.
Also, Jordan, this will be a if you edit it because I don't think this game has any music.
Oh.
It is. I think it is. Maybe. But I don't know.
No.
Guys, we're talking about a Ratchet and Clank game. Let's do this.
Okay. Who wants to go first in this one?
I just went, but I'd like to go again.
Sure.
Taylor's going first. 3, 2, 1, go.
Guys, it's a Ratchet and Clank game. Ratchet and Clank is my second favorite video game franchise, right under Ace Attorney, and that means, from a gameplay perspective, it's my favorite. Dude, Ratchet and Clank. Listen, Ratchet and Clank 2016 is not my favorite Ratchet and Clank game, but it's definitely up there as one of the best. And as this is a remake or a reimagining of the first one, you can start here with relatively few problems. Ratchet and Clank has one of my favorite odd couple duos of a Lombax and a robot, and you go on adventures. And you know something? I give space a really hard time, but you travel all over space in Ratchet and Clank, and I fucking love it here because there's such good level design in each place. They keep the environments fresh and interesting. But the best part about Ratchet and Clank is its fucking gameplay loop of I know I was just roasting third-person shooters, but this is a third-person shooter combined with great platforming, and it melds so well together. You get a bunch of fucking crazy-ass guns, and the more you use any gun, the stronger it gets. There's such great variety. You can get this fucking robot named Mr. Zircon who fucking taunts you all the time, but fucking has a fucking sick pleasure for murdering people, and he'll constantly talk about how much he loves killing people. That's just one weapon. And dude, there's like a pixelator that turns every enemy into 8-bit renditions of themselves. There's a fucking there's the Groovatron. I don't know if the Groovatron is in this one. It's a disco ball that makes people dance. Dude, Ratchet and Clank is so much fun. I'm really just speaking on behalf of Ratchet and Clank because I think this is the only one until we go backwards in the yearly that I get a chance to talk about. But like, there is a perfect blend of gameplay here. I'm just so excited to be talking about it. I love Ratchet and Clank, dude, and I'm so mad that I don't have a PS5, so I can't play the newest one. But again, it's great because you guys could start here if you wanted to. It's so much fun. The platforming is great. The gunplay is great. The challenge is great. Oh, the story is so good. That James Arnold Taylor as Ratchet does a great job. Captain Quark, who is the same guy who played Chet You Betcha from Fairly Odd Parents.
Whoa.
I know, right? Isn't that fun as hell? Dr. Nefarious is in this one, who is the series' best villain.
Yeah.
There's a great story in this 3D platformer. 3D platformers have had stories before, but like the level of like pacing and story beats in this franchise, they're so good, man. Ratchet and Clank is so good.
You know, I'm glad we're doing a games bracket and not a movies bracket. So,
Oh yeah, the movie.
I have not seen the movie.
I hear that
Hang
that's
on,
for
is
the
this
best.
is this the Ratchet and Clank game based on the movie?
I
The
believe
movie
so.
is based. Well, yeah, okay, yes. But
The game based on the movie based on the game.
Okay.
I haven't seen the movie. Just
Good.
play the game. It's better. I already know that. If we're and listen, I'll try to play that. We're comparing two games here.
It's
SUPERHOT has guns too, and I think SUPERHOT is pretty cool. But I've been talking for a while, and I don't know if anyone else is gonna talk about Ratchet and Clank, so I just had to gush a little.
Is anyone else going to talk about Ratchet and Clank?
I can talk about it briefly.
Go for it.
I've not played Ratchet and Clank. I played Ratchet and Clank, and that is
the other one.
And that game is a lot of fun, despite some occasional PS2 jank shenanigans.
Well, yeah.
The combat, it not only allows for satisfying, like, explosive gameplay, but also Ratchet and Clank is the type of game that really you can kind of play it however you want to play it. If you don't,
That's true.
Yeah, if you don't want to die in a level, you can just, like, hole out somewhere and, like, seeker missile all of the enemies one by one. It takes forever. But if I want to play that way, it takes forever. It's not fun. But if I want to play that way, then goddamn it, I'm so glad that Ratchet and Clank lets me play in my stupid, idiot, unfun way.
Or play the game as a hack and slash and just use the wrench.
Exactly. Lots of people do, like, wrench-only runs of Ratchet and Clank games, and it's yeah.
And dude, the New Game Plus is so good because there are collectible bolts in the game, which is your currency, and it's so satisfying to hear that sound effect when you pick up bolts. When you beat the game and you play again, you get a bolt multiplier so that you can start earning 20 times as many bolts, and just feeling them get sucked into your body and fucking I'm just so happy. Like, dude, just talking about this is like filling me with joy.
Well, we need to fill someone else with joy because we need to get to super hot.
I also like super hot. I do. I just feel like there's less to offer here, and I feel like the price matched with the amount of hours has always been bad.
Super Hot does have one of the most unique and one of the most straight up cool concepts.
Wait, sorry, say that again, Taylor.
Super Hot is like a 3-hour game, and I'm pretty sure it's like $25.
It's more than a 3-hour game. I have invested 25 hours into it in total.
20.
That's $1 an hour.
Did you replay it multiple times?
I mean, there's a lot of extra content in there than just the main story mode.
Okay.
There's a bunch of challenges in addition to that, and I came very close to 100%ing Super Hot. Then, unfortunately, it turns out that the game doesn't have fucking Steam cloud saves, and when I got a new PC,
You're right, though. This game is one of the most clever ideas out there. Time only moves when you move, except it still does technically move, just really, really slow. But, like, it's fun, man. Super Hot is really cool. I guess, like, for me, it's like, according to my Steam page, I beat the game in 2 hours, not even 119 minutes.
Yep.
And I guess for me, it's like, I don't, like, if I wanted to replay it, I will, but, like, at the time, like, I was like, all right, I played it, that was fun. And now I'm done.
Look, I certainly got a lot out of it.
Sure. I'm glad that it has more than I realized. I just, I don't know. I also find it, sometimes it can be frustrating, too. It can get a little annoying, when you fuck up a part so many times. But fortunately, you have infinite retries, which I don't think is true of the sequel. It's really neat. I like its atmosphere. I think its story aesthetic is pretty cool. It's just not Ratchet and Clank.
It's not Ratchet and Clank. Therefore, it's good. I'm joking.
Oh,
Listen, I know you love to bash shit. Don't start with me here.
No, I actually don't have anything against Ratchet and Clank. Although I've heard this Ratchet and Clank game is not very good.
That's not true. That is not true. In fact, I will go as far as to say I don't think there are bad Ratchet and Clank games. Maybe Secret Agent Clank.
Maybe. That's more like definitely.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's okay.
Well, I think Taylor, because he enjoys more of these games, he sees even the bad ones are like they're kind of good.
No,
I know.
Like me with Smashing Pumpkins albums.
I can be objective. I think I really do feel like there is a level of quality in every Ratchet and Clank game. I feel like there are just some franchises that don't have bad, like truly bad stuff in them, and I feel like Ratchet and Clank has managed to avoid that pitfall. Honestly, I do.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
So, how much longer we got, Jordan?
Well, we're at the end of the 8, but I don't think we've heard a lot about Super Hot other than just what it is.
Yeah, because I tried to talk about Super Hot, and then Taylor jumped in.
I'm sorry. I like Ratchet and Clank.
Explain a little bit about Super Hot and.
Yeah. So, Super Hot is a first-person shooter. Not really. It's complicated. The premise
Almost
of the game,
puzzle.
yeah, it's more of a puzzle game than anything. So Superhot is a game in which whenever your character moves, time moves. When you stay still, time slows to a crawl. It never truly stops, but it gets really close to that. What's going on? You die in one hit. Like a real human does if you get shot or stabbed.
Not Chuck Norris.
Oh my god.
Not the Zohan.
It's 2022. Did you just make a fucking Chuck Norris joke?
Look, the world's ending. I might as well.
I made an Adam Sandler Don't Mess with the Zohan.
I made Tom Waits jokes earlier. Okay, I don't care.
Okay, fair enough. Anyway, what's going on? The game is probably as close as you could physically get to making a sort of a John Wick style game where you're playing as this just constantly adapting person mowing through enemies, but not in a sort of power fantasy way, but in a sort of a way of punch a guy, steal his gun, shoot 3 guys, then throw the gun at another guy as you run, grab a samurai sword off the ground, chop a bullet in 2, then throw the samurai sword at the guy, run across the map, dodge, pick up a bottle, smash him over the head with it, and as 4 more guys run into the room, and you have to do all that over again.
He's right. The chaining of combos is really satisfying.
And because the game moves so slowly, because the game moves slow and only moves when you move, the game is more about trying to think your way through the problems the game presents you. Like, for instance, you are in an elevator, there are 4 guys with assault rifles, dodge every bullet and try to escape this stupid situation. And the game is probably one of the... it's a very interesting game where one of the best ways to dodge bullets is to look at the bullet so that you can always know that you're not actually colliding with it, which it's as close as you can actually get in any video game to actual Matrix bullet time.
Yeah.
Where you actually have to go ooh, as you turn and follow the bullet as it goes past. It's an insane game, and like I said, there is a lot of even if there's not even if there's not an endless amount of content necessarily, there is a lot of replay value.
Good.
It is really fun to just hop in and play again and just try and find new ways to play it. But let's go again. I've been doing the speed runs. I played endless mode. I did the various different challenges they had. I almost 100% of the game.
Can I say one of my favorite things about Superhot is after you beat a level, it shows what all of your moves were like if you never slowed down time.
Yeah. Like a Super Meat Boy approach.
I really like that feature a lot.
Can I say, I love that feature. I would like it a lot more if they didn't throw up, if there weren't giant letters in front of it and the voice actor constantly going, super hot, super hot. I would like just once to actually just watch it through without the voiceover and text in front of it.
Yeah,
He's getting paid by the Superhot, so he's saying it a bunch of times.
Yeah. Also, I didn't even mention, there's a minigame accessible from the title screen. Tree Dude.
Tree Dude.
Tree Dude is a lot of fun, and I have invested so much time into Tree Dude.
I will say, I kind of disagree about the idea that you can try a bunch of different paths in every game, because I feel like if it's a puzzle aesthetic type game, one of the aspects of a puzzle game is that there's only one solution. Well, that's not always
But
true.
there's not only one solution in Superhot, that's the thing.
Yeah. Maybe I'm just bad at it.
Any other thoughts on either of these games from people who haven't talked
Superhot, very fun VR.
Ooh.
I can't speak to that. Thank you, Graham.
You're welcome. Anytime.
Anything else?
Ratchet and Clank is really good.
Okay.
There's no sexual innuendo in this Ratchet and Clank game. That should tell you everything about its quality.
Oof.
What?
It's the only Ratchet and Clank game that doesn't have a sexual innuendo in its title.
Oh.
Well, that and Ratchet and Clank.
That's true.
Yeah.
Can't forget about Ratchet and
So
Clank.
2 games.
A Crack in
So-
Time.
Yeah, a crack in time is definitely some sort of.
Is
Going
it?
Somewhat.
Commando.
Going Commando, up your arsenal.
Yeah.
No, I know. I'm looking for the exceptions. Secret Agent Clank.
Okay.
Well, that game is bad.
It's,
Yeah.
it's okay. It's
Size matters.
Uh-huh.
well, yeah. I think that was the most obvious one of the bunch.
Is there really one called Size Matters?
Yes,
Yeah.
it's the PSP one. Tools of Destruction.
You can kind of
Well,
argue it.
tools, so yeah.
And then we do Full Frontier Assault.
Yeah.
Oh,
All
yeah.
for One.
Not so
Not
much
that
that
one.
one.
Yeah, that one actually not as much. Yeah.
Before we start just naming the rest of the franchise, I think we should vote.
Yeah.
It starts with me, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I would be happy with either of these winning. Because I think they're actually both really, really cool games. But at the end of the day, since I like them both equally, I'm going to go with the one whose franchise I played, and that is Ratchet and Clank.
Okay.
But you didn't play Ratchet and Clank. You only played Ratchet and Clank.
Exactly.
That's a great thing. You played one of the weaker ones, so it's only going to get better.
Clanky.
So I have a connection to Ratchet and Clank, but it's not because I've played it. It's because as a kid, everyone would always go Clanky, like Ratchet and Clank,
Yeah.
and
Oh.
I think that kind of put a sour taste in my mouth.
No,
Not to say that I hate it or anything.
Clanky, come on. You're an adult
And it's
now.
not to say that I won't enjoy Ratchet and Clank if I play it, but SUPERHOT looks like such a cool and unique mechanic, and I want to get into VR, and SUPERHOT would be one of the first games I pick up for it.
Oh,
Whereas
Clank,
Ratchet and Clank looks like, platformer.
you
So
were
I'm
the
voting
swing vote.
So I'm voting for SUPERHOT.
No.
Mick.
Super hot.
Hot.
Actually, can I cast my vote for Tree Dude instead?
Jury Dude technically counts as a vote for Super Hot.
Yeah.
Graham.
Hot. Super. Hot. Super. Hot.
Taylor.
Super.
I can't believe Ratchet and Clank lost because people like to give Clanky a nickname.
Those bastards.
By the way, is it Super Hot 3-2?
It is. Super Hot.
Okay. Super Hot 3-2. It is.
There were some great no's, Taylor, when Clanky was giving it.
I'm unhappy.
They were well-placed no's. They were very good. Speaking of well-placed no's, I'm going to be having some because my wild card is up next. It is going to be Kirby Planet Robobot, which is a Christian pick, versus my pick of the single most important mobile game in the last 10 years, which is Pokemon Go. Who wants to go first?
Christian does.
I am begging you.
Well, then, don't worry. I will let you go first then, okay?
And honestly, if it's okay, since we all know everything about Pokemon Go, unless people have stories to share, I'll try to keep it below 4 minutes,
We'll
but
take as much time as you need, because we know what's going to win.
yeah.
And it's probably not going to be Pokemon Go, because I know.
Well, we don't know that. That's why I'm fucking terrified right now.
Well,
so
I have a feeling. All right, we'll start in 3, 2, 1. Christian, what's this one?
So, I have been really scared all week. Not just because I'm afraid of Kirby Planet Robobot getting murdered in Loser's Bracket, but also because I've never been so scared to try and give a game justice with words, you know? Even more so than like something like Undertale, I feel like as the Kirby guy, I kind of need to represent this game in a positive light and explain why I like it so much. So I'm going to give it my best shot, and it may not be perfect, but I'm like shaking right now, so I know at the very least it comes to the
Christian,
heart.
you got this, okay? You have my full confidence. You got this.
Kirby Planet Robobot is my favorite game from my favorite franchise, which I have been enamored with ever since I was a young lad playing Kirby's Air Ride. Kirby Planet Robobot is the best 2D platformer I've ever played, where you have the typical Kirby formula. For those of you who are not familiar with Kirby formula, it's kind of like a platformer beat-em-up combo where you move. Your maneuverability is very similar to how it is in Smash Brothers, but you can swallow in enemies and copy their abilities and take all of their abilities for themselves. And Kirby
I'm sorry, I just want to say, I don't get the beat-em-up aesthetic as much.
Well, it's like it's an action platformer.
That's a better sum.
Yeah. The thing about Kirby Planet Robobot is that it's using the best engine Kirby has ever had and probably will ever have in 2D, where every single copy ability has 18 different moves that you can do for it, and all of the majority of copy abilities all have these fucking dash attacks that you can use. So you can just go zoom, zoom, zoom. I'm done with this copy ability. Give me hammer, and then I go speed, and then I'm like, I'm done with hammer. No, give me fire, whoosh, whoosh. And it's like you just go fast. You just like Kirby is like a surprisingly fast video game when you really, and I'll go into more detail as to why it's really fast. But then take that already incredibly satisfying gameplay, and then intermittently spruced between the majority of levels in the game is a giant mech suit that you will crawl into, and suddenly you are now beating the shit out of enemies in a giant fucking mech
Kirby
suit.
Rim.
Exactly! You're just going around punching enemies with your fucking metal fists, and then it's like you can pick up giant objects and throw them places, and oh, it's fucking incredible. But wait, that's not all. It doesn't stop there, because the mech suit has copy abilities. So you don't just have one amazingly overpowered mech that can destroy cars that Waddle Dees are driving by in and cause like 5-car pileups. No, that's not the only thing you can do. You can
Wait, can you cause 5-car pileups?
You can destroy Waddle Dee cars. That you can definitely do.
Okay.
You can get the stone ability with the mech suit, where your fists quadruple in size, and you just like fucking Bowser down B on enemies and just murder them in one hit.
You just Bowser down.
You have the cutter ability for the mech suit, which gives you 2 buzzsaws, which you can shoot and they bounce all across the screen and just destroy everything. The flamethrower, the fire ability gives you 2 flamethrowers, which you can spray and sort of like keep a radius around yourself that is nearly impenetrable. You can get fucking ESP mech suit, where you have 2 levitating hands next to you that shoot out fucking ESP beams, and it's like fucking amazing. It is the best mechanic that has ever been introduced in any Kirby game, and almost in any 2D platformer. On top of that, this game oozes with style and charm. The entire game takes Kirby's usual setting and roboticizes it. Gone are the Mario-style grassland, desert land, jungle, water, ice, lava. No, you have these roboticized locations like a city. You have ice cream factories. You have carnivals. You have casinos. You can gamble. And it's fucking... It's fucking... And then, all topped together with a final act, which I will dare not spoil, but is one of the best. Like, this game has lore. This game has lore, and you can read up on all the game's fucking lore, and it's tragic. It actually hurts you in the heart, and it's like, how the fuck did I hurt for these fucking Kirby characters? What the fuck? And then finally, on top of all of that, if that wasn't enough for you, when you beat the game for the first time, you unlock the Meta Nightmare mode, which is a game mode where you play as Meta Knight throughout the entire game. And some would argue this is the best part of the entire game, where Meta Knight has the strength of Robobot armor, but the speed of Kirby, speed of twice as fast as Kirby. And you just beat the game in like an hour. You just go through, you fight brand new bosses, and you beat the game in an hour. And you just zoom through the whole thing. You have power-ups you can use. Every enemy drops these little like droplets that you can pick up, and it gives you like points towards power-ups, like faster speed, so you can go even faster, or like screen wipe attacks that you can use on bosses. Is the game not hard enough for you? Well, there's a boss rush that you can unlock that has a 5-phase final boss fight. Like, Is the music not? Do you like music in video games? Well, this has one of the best soundtracks in any video game ever made. So much it launched like Siva Gunner's entire career, with his program remix. Well, it didn't launch his career, but it was one of his most popular ones to the point where he kept it as the cover video. It has Kirby's Blowout Blast, which is the blueprints to Kirby and the Forgotten Land, which is a game that more of you have probably played. And you can thank Planet Robobot for Forgotten Land, because it is part of the reason why it exists. And
Are you sure about that?
it is part of the reason, because they had to prototype it somehow. And lastly, I'm going to say something about Pokemon Go.
Yes, we might as well.
And I want to say good things about Pokemon Go really bad. But I feel in my current situation it is difficult for me to justify saying good things about it. So instead, I will say the one thing that stopped me from playing Pokemon Go. I played Pokemon Go in a suburban area most of my time, and I had a lot of fun with it. Then I went to the city, and I had a lot of fun in the city.
Yeah.
Like, oh my god, you could just walk around. There's Pokestops and everything all over the place. After I left the city, I never touched the game again, because I realized that there is no way that I will ever be able to have the same amount of fun in my suburban neighborhood than I will in a city. Like, the difference is staggering. In the city, you can walk 1 block and catch 2 Venomoths and a Haunter. In my suburban area, you have to walk a mile to catch a Rattata and miss. And it's like... it sucks. Anyway, that's me. That's all I have to say.
Do people other than Christian have any thoughts on Pokemon Go or any of these?
I want to talk about Pokemon Go because
Yes.
I genuinely believe it might be the closest we ever got to, like, at least in the United States, peace on a country level.
Yes.
I remember it when it first launched, playing on like my shitty iPhone 4. I could barely play it, and like thankfully, like 2 weeks after it launched, my phone finally broke, so I got a new one that could actually play it. But I go to like a friend's house. We'd like walk to a park to a Pokestop. At one point, like people like driving a car like stopped out and like the window shouted like, "Hey, have you seen like a Tauros wreck around here? Like we're looking for one like like they were genuinely like looking for the Tauros." I remember playing first time I purchase after doing the the one and only college tour I did, which was at purchase. It's hard to say. Like, I have like less good things to say about the game itself, more just the time in which it was like first available and around.
Which I think is indicative in some ways.
Again, but like at the same time, even the game if the game itself wasn't very good, if we still have great memories of it, does it?
I mean, you bring up a
that
fair
still
point.
counts.
Yeah, good memories are good memories.
At the end of the day, because I'm pretty sure none of you are playing these games right now, so that our memories are really the only thing we could really go off of, and I'd be surprised if anyone here hasn't played Pokemon Go. So we don't really have to.
Believe me, I tried not to.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like you said, Graham, it was basically like it was a unification of every young person at that time.
Mm-hmm.
Like I talked about running my film camp job that summer, and everybody was going insane playing Pokemon Go. I had to work in a Pokemon Go reference into one of the scripts. It was that, and I remember being in New York City at the Nintendo store, and there was a point where everybody was right by a jack charging their phones and playing Pokemon Go, and like it was insane. And that moment in summer 2016, while it may not have persisted for the rest of the game's run, I think that it's definitely very important to talk about it and talking about this game, because that game was on everybody's lips for most of that summer, and not a lot of games can have that sort of like domination over people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because like at the end of the day, I do think like when we're talking about like this years, we should take into consideration games that like had the biggest impact in their current year. I don't think any game on this list impacted as much as Pokemon Go. by a
Right.
landslide.
Yeah. It's very. I think influential is the right word for it, because
I don't think influential is, because
has influenced other games, but influenced people.
yeah. I don't even know about that, but it certainly has made the biggest splash.
Yeah, and plus I have friends that still play this game.
That's true.
My friend Sarah, one of the last couple times we hung out, she'll every once in a while I'll just see her like, oh, and she'll be just going and seeing what Pokemon are available by her area, and she'll like, oh, that's not even a good one. So, yeah.
As someone who lives in a Pokestop,
Right.
I feel like I should have had the most fun with this, but it didn't, and I think it's ultimately like this game is pretty influential in a lot of ways. It's also a mobile game.
Yeah, that's the other thing.
And mobile games are cute. They're fun distractions, but I don't feel like they stack up to the full things. And I feel like Pokemon Go isn't terrible at this, but mobile games in general have the bad business practices of free stuff, or having to constantly just check back in to daily to earn very small pickups. You can't just like sit and play the game. And so Pokemon Go encourages you to get out there and meet people, and that's cool, but I don't like going out and meeting people.
Okay, well, fair. Also, we shouldn't gatekeep. It's still a video game.
No, it is. Listen, it's cool. I remember one time I was taking a train to Long Island. There was this girl waiting next to me. I saw her trying to catch an Ekans, and I was like, "Hey, is there anything good around?" And like immediately, she wasn't weirded out by the fact that a stranger was talking to her. It's just like, okay, now we're talking about Pokemon Go.
Pokemon Go.
I mean, and like that's cool. In that sense, that's cool because Pokemon, brought us all together. It united us, but in a better way than Unite. It's like, it's cool. I just like, I don't know, man. I feel like it's pretending to be bigger than it actually is, too.
Okay.
It's cool.
Right.
And Jordan, have I not been super cool to you about every wild card pick you've had?
You have. And, even if some of them are admittedly better or worse than others, I submitted this in because of the importance of it at that time, and also the fact that it stayed relevant all this time. And also, this game has done what no other Pokemon game has done, and it has allowed me to say good things about a Pokemon game at a Yearlies. So,
which is weird for it being Pokemon Go.
Well, yeah, but
no, I understand your point, though. As a casual gamer, it makes a lot more sense. I guess at the end of the day, I think Pokemon Go is cool. I guess I just don't think it's that fun.
Well, yeah, because you've played better Pokemon games.
No, but it's not even that. It's just like the game loop is just like it's tedious to me.
Okay.
I don't even like the catching mechanic.
Yeah, I'm with Taylor on this. I just don't think it's all that fun. Kind of one of the reasons I stopped playing is because I realized, oh, wait a minute, you can't even have like actual battles in this. Oh.
I think you can, but you have to like go to a Pokestop and you need to have over-leveled to shit Pokemon. I don't know. Listen, I was very tempted when Wooper Watch happened.
Wooper Watch.
Oh my
We'll
god.
always have Wooper Watch.
Wooper Watch.
That was a great week.
No one else has said anything about Robobot, but I feel like we. I don't know.
Let's vote. Let's vote.
Yeah.
Well, no, I think we should probably Pokemon Go and vote. And
I swear to God.
And we did it.
Let me be Pokemon crystal clear about this. Every voter in this Pokemon Stadium, damn better Pokemon Go to the polls this time, or I'm gonna Pokemon Snap. You want a Pokemon Battle Revolution? Then be ready to Pokemon Rumble, because I got one more Pokemon Conquest before I Pokemon Shuffle off this mortal coil and welcome the sweet Pokemon Gale of Darkness XD.
It's funny because she still lost the election.
Yeah.
We're gonna start with Christian.
No matter what happens,
Go for Pokemon Go. It'll be funny.
It would be really fun. I would also probably jam a thumb in one of my eyes if I did that.
Please don't do that. As
but-
someone who just had severe eye distress a couple of days ago, please don't do that.
Fair.
I'm sorry that happened to you.
No matter what happens, I'll have nice things to say about Pokemon Go next time. My vote's for Planet Robobot.
Yes. Clanky.
I think the idea of discounting Pokemon Go because it's a mobile game is, I don't know. I disagree with that. I
do
also
I.
disagree with the fact that people don't say it's fun. I had fun with it. What,
I'm
did I
not
only
saying
have fun
people
for a
don't say
summer?
it's fun.
Yeah,
I'm saying
guess
I
so.
don't say it's
But
fun.
like I had fun with it for a summer. Did I have fun with it for more than a summer? I guess not. But I mean, like, it was a really fun summer as it was going on. I
Yeah.
can't, dismiss that. So even though I'm sure I'll love Planet Robobot when I play it, I have to give it to Pokemon Go.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, and again, to this day, people still talk about the summer of Pokemon Go as one of the last great moments before things went to shit society-wise.
I don't think things were so great before that either.
Well, okay, fair, but they seemed better before then because that summer was so great.
Okay, I see your point.
Yeah.
I agree.
Mick, it is your go.
I'm gonna vote for Kirby Planet Robobot.
Of course.
What do you mean, of course? I haven't played it.
No,
Doesn't
I
make
mean,
sense
of
for
course,
me to vote
because
for
of
it.
course you're not going to vote for Pokemon Go. Okay. Graham
Pokemon Go.
and Taylor.
Now, Christian knows what I'm going to vote for, but the thing is, if I don't vote, I can keep him in suspense.
Oh my
You
God.
think I give a shit?
Oh, of course you give a shit, Christian.
I'll delete the whole bracket right now.
We'll start
But
over.
But you know what? The fact that I said that out loud means I'm a dick, and I already feel terrible, so I'm just going to vote for Planet Robobot.
Really? Okay. 3-2 Planet Robobot.
And if
Wow.
Pokemon goes to the losers bracket.
Yes, it does.
Ah,
But will it be more successful than Hillary? Time will tell.
This
Okay.
one's interesting.
Yes, this one is Overcooked, which is a Christian pick, versus Final Fantasy 15, which is a redundant title. I mean, if it was a final one, it wouldn't have been 15 of them. Submitted by Graham. Who wants to go first in this one?
Mario
okay if
Kart Simulator 2016.
I just want to ask a question, if that's okay, and then someone else can go.
Okay, so does that mean you're going first, Dale?
I mean, I guess, but it's
Okay.
I don't have a lot to say. I've never played either of these.
All right, well, I'll always start the timer. 3, 2, 1. We're on, Taylor.
I just want to ask, because I'm pretty sure Christian and Clanky are big fans of this. Is this the one you guys like, or is it Overcooked too?
They're both.
Yeah, they're
to
both
me, they're
good.
both interchangeable. I really love Overcooked, and I really love Overcooked too.
Just because,
Yeah.
like, if Overcooked 2 does end up on another bracket, is it going to be redundant when we talk about this one?
I guess a little bit, but it does add enough to like make it, I guess, like preferable. But I still do I still love both of them equally, I
yeah.
suppose.
I won't be putting Overcooked 2 on any of my other lists because I haven't played enough of it to really rank it. But well, I guess we're on the topic of Overcooked, so I might as well go into it a
Yeah.
little bit. Overcooked is, in a similar vein to Keep Talking Nobody Explodes, one of my favorite co-op games. Where you manage a restaurant, and it's really that simple. You pull fruits and vegetables out of boxes, chop them up, put them in pots, cook them for a while, take the pots, put this food in the plates, take the plates
Cough
to
on
the...
them a little bit.
Yeah, just spread some spread some good old
Cough
germs.
a little.
Give the plate to the customer, take the plate, clean the plate, put it back on the counter, and that's it. That's the whole game. You just keep doing
Sounds
that.
like Diner Dash.
It is a lot like well, Clanky knows more about Diner Dash than I
It's
do.
like that one mini
but-
game from the Mario Party.
Yeah, it's less about like serving the customers and more about cooking the meals.
Yeah, right.
Exactly. And the cooking part is, you always have to keep in mind, like, what recipes are going through, what's necessary. And it starts off as this, like, really funny game where it's like, haha, I'm gonna dash into you, haha, stop you from making this food. Then 30 minutes pass, and by the end of it, you're all just stone-faced, staring at the TV screen like, get the tomato, get the tomato, get the tomato, chop, chop. Someone clean the place, serve this right now. Someone get this served. Onion.
Onion.
And it's like, it is, Overcooked is the kind of game where, to its benefit and detriment, Overcooked is a very stressful game, because you are always locked in at 100% on what you're doing, and you need to, like, keep your focus to get, like, those 3-star rankings, because Overcooked, thankfully has, like, a star ranking system where you can move on to other levels even if you only get 1 star, but getting 3 stars might be preferable to some people. And by the end of it, you are getting so into it that you are calling the fruits and vegetables by code names, like calling the tomatoes Tommies because it's faster, and calling the onions Unnies.
Why don't you just call tomatoes red?
Well, then you might have another red thing that you might have to chop up, and then like the meat is red, so you might have to like.
So call it meat.
But they're both
Which
red,
time?
so it
Which
would
time?
still be confusing. Anyway,
You call me's meat? Meat's me's?
Me's. No, me's are something different.
Anyway,
Just call meat penis.
to wrap
Oh
up
my
Overcooked, it is an incredibly fun, incredibly like challenging co-op game that will really test your mettle in terms of cooperating with people, and it's like one of the closest I think I've ever seen to like just sort of like when you get everyone together, you are operating a fucking well-oiled machine, and it is glorious. It is a marvel. But yeah, Final Fantasy 15. Who wants to talk about it?
Yeah.
I'll talk about it. Since I put it in. Depending on how you look at it, both these games are cooking simulators. Because you can like have one of your friends make recipes for you, and they're all really fucking delicious looking. But no, like Final Fantasy 15. I put it in. Let me just say this right now. This is not going to win this bracket. I know that. Probably won't even like make it beat Overcooked. But this has one of my favorite villains. Like,
Well, can I ask why you say that, if that's okay?
Because it's a very much like I recognize that this is also a very flawed game. Like, and A, flawed game. B, Taylor, I think you're probably like the person I'd most likely like get to play it. Well, hold on, maybe Mick, because boy trip simulator.
Can I say I played the demo and really enjoyed it? I loved playing. I loved being really small, fighting toys, and then getting text messages from a ferret.
But yeah,
I know the actual game is not like that at all, but like
no, the demo is like a weird thing.
it's a dream sequence, and there's like a chinchilla that's texting you on the phone. It's weird.
Yes. But yeah, the game is about the main character Noctis's journey to become. It starts out as a road trip for him, like with his buds to go off for his like preordained marriage, but eventually turns into like a quest for him to like kind of like really find and prove himself. Really to himself. There isn't really anyone he has to like prove himself to except to himself. Like I'm doing a very bad job of explaining like everything. But anyway, the villain, which is why I'm here. The best thing I could say about the villain is the basic premise of it is, what if Jesus came back and he was pissed?
Hey, man. Question: is he the guy that makes the cameo in Assassin's Creed Origins?
Yes.
Okay.
What?
Yeah, it's
Yes.
weird. It's weird.
How does
And then
Final Fantasy
Assassin's
get into
Creed-
Assassin's Creed?
Oh,
Because
finds
Assassin's
a
Creed is
way.
a canonical video game in Final Fantasy 15.
That's just not true.
yes, it is.
It is. It is.
They go to an Assassin's Creed convention.
This is some
Yes.
metaphor that I'm not analyzing correctly.
No. I promise you it's not.
Jesus, my
Um,
God.
Again, yeah, like, the other part is, like, the first half of this game is a very wide open world, beautifully rendered, that you can explore, go on mother hunts, ride chocobos, you can listen to your car, a lot of music, including music from past Final Fantasies, and like a bunch of other Square Enix projects. This is definitely not the best game that came out this year, but I would be remiss to not put it on the list this year, because
Right.
I think it at least deserves to be on this list and then be a part of this conversation.
I love Final Fantasy, which is probably not surprising to anyone here. I haven't played this one. I stopped playing Final Fantasy games at 10, and I guess like the 5-year gap of games in between, I guess like kind of scared me to the idea of skipping 5 games and thinking about if there were others I need to play. Theoretically, I think the only other one I might play before 15 is 14. But
The MMO.
what? Yeah. Oh, dude, I really want to get into Final Fantasy 14. It looks like I've realized a lot about it, and like I think I want to eventually become a Final Fantasy 14 guy. I guess like I don't know what ever stopped me from playing 15. I guess it like looked so different from Final Fantasy for me. But I spoke about this with Graham recently. Now that I play Final Fantasy VII Remake, even though this is a worse version of that, I feel like the fact that it has gameplay in that style at all has me very intrigued. And also, Final Fantasy tells great stories with great characters most of the time. I kind of assume that this is the good one that has good characters. And I also like good villains. So, I'm very intrigued. Overcooked also sounds good, though. So I'm a little on the fence.
We go to the vote.
Oh wait, Clank,
Christian,
you gonna say something?
No, I said no.
Okay.
Okay, Christian, you're up first.
One day I'll care about Final Fantasy. Overcooked.
Okay, Clanky.
Yeah, Overcooked is one of my favorite multiplayer games ever, so it's got to be Overcooked.
Okay, Mick.
Apart from Stranger of Paradise, Final Fantasy 15 is the Final Fantasy game I most want to play, so I'm voting for it.
Okay, Graham. Well,
Final Fantasy 15.
yeah, and Taylor.
It's very predictable of me, but Final Fantasy 15 is on my backlog. Overcooked is not.
Okay, 3-2. Final Fantasy 15.
Overcooked would be a weird game to have on your backlog anyway.
Yeah, that's more of a play when you get the chance kind of game.
Graham, did you not expect that to happen?
I have a
No, I
tier.
did not. I did not.
Wow. Okay.
I have a tier in my backlog for co-op only.
Yeah.
Oh,
Alright.
okay.
So
I think it's also good. I came down to, like, I know Mick is interested, but I didn't know how interested. I also didn't know if Taylor played or was interested in Overcooked.
all right, on to the losers bracket. Okay, Stellaris versus Hitman. Any last comments on either of these?
I'm sorry, Graham.
I know. I bought you Stellaris. You can play it eventually.
You bought me? Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot you bought me
Yeah.
Stellaris.
Yeah. And I think you'd enjoy it.
Oh, thank you. Can I just say, I forgot about that. I think I got the email. Like, I think I was asleep when I got the email, and like I briefly woke up, checked the email, went back to sleep, and assumed it was a dream or some shit.
Oh my.
There's no way I would ever receive Stellaris. Goes back. To
Did you thank him anyways?
No, that's the thing. I don't think I ever responded to you, Graham.
Oh my.
Yeah,
God.
no, I was like, all right.
Guys, say thank you when someone gives you a gift.
I
Come
didn't
on.
think he gave me the gift.
Yeah, no, I can excuse that.
Wow.
Look,
Um,
me and Mick were A+. We went to a restaurant once.
Yeah, we went to lunch once.
One time.
Therefore, yeah,
You're good.
Graham has fulfilled his obligation to our friendship, and therefore he never.
And then
has-
when Mick wanted to see Shazam, Graham wasn't having it.
No.
Well, that
Okay.
okay, lunch was after Shazam.
Lunch was
Oh my
after
God.
Shazam.
It was to make up for Shazam.
Yeah.
Clanky, it is your turn. I think you start off because of this 4.
Yeah, no offense, Graham, but I have no interest in Stellaris, so I gotta give it to Hitman.
Okay. Mick,
Sorry, Hitman.
Graham,
Stellaris.
Taylor,
Yeah, Hitman.
Christian.
I want to assure you, Graham, that this is not a pity vote. I genuinely think there would be enough to enjoy in Stellaris for me to find it slightly
The cycle,
more
the
interesting than
cycle
the
of
first
3 2s that has lasted this entire bracket.
Oh,
Continues.
wow, it really has. I
Huh.
didn't realize that.
Wow.
Holy shit.
Well, this one might be either closer or not closer. Sid Meier's Civ 6 versus Jackbox Party Pack 3. Any last comments on either of these? Okay. Clanky, go.
I'm just laser focused.
Clanky.
This was tough, but I think I ultimately, I feel bad about this, but I'm gonna have to give it to Jackbox.
Yeah. Mick.
Come back to me.
Okay. Graham.
Civ 6.
Okay. Civ 6.
Freudian slip.
Taylor.
Yeah, I gotta go Jackbox.
Figured. Christian.
Jackbox.
And we're back to you now, Mick.
Does it matter?
No, it doesn't. It's already 3-1, Jackbox.
Well, then I'll keep the streak going. Civ 6.
3-2, Jackbox. The 3-2s
3-2.
keep going. Uncharted 4, A Thief's End versus Ratchet and Clank.
This is very unfortunate. but I want to believe in my child,
Start.
my children.
You son of a bitch, Graham.
What do you say?
Now we can all play it together.
Of course I'm going to accept it.
Oh, did he buy Stellaris for you?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah,
Okay.
on sale.
Wow.
Damn.
This is what he does to his friends.
Graham, you're the best.
Clanky.
You got me.
Eh,
Pro.
he's
Even
alright.
though I have my vendetta against Ratchet and Clank, I think I ultimately would find it more interesting than Uncharted, so I'm voting for
Ooh.
Ratchet and Clank.
Clanky, I'd love to watch you play it, and you'd have a great time. I have to watch Kristen play it first, but then I'll watch it again when you play it.
Mick.
So, I really have very little interest in either of these, but I'll say this. When I play a video game, I enjoy video games that can be played. Ratchet and Clank.
Graham.
Uncharted, because I like games that I can play.
Taylor.
Spiced.
Ooh.
I'm sorry I can't win Graham over, but let's fucking get Ratchet and Clank out of here. Let's let it rise up.
No. Taylor, I don't know how well your math is because Mick, you voted for Ratchet and Clank, right?
Yep.
I'm
And
voting-
Taylor, you're voting for Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah.
And Clanky voted for Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah.
So
I
you're
know.
saying let's get Ratchet and Clank out of here.
I'm
Ratchet and
saying
Clank's going to
I'm
win.
saying let's get it out of round one. Let's get it
Oh.
rising up.
Okay, sorry, I didn't know what you meant.
You
No, I- no,
raise me up.
That was confusing.
Thank you, Mick Groban.
I kind of realized after I said it that didn't make a lot of sense.
Oh, I'm sorry, I read it wrong. Christian for
For the
your
P word.
posterior.
It took me not caring about Uncharted to break the 3-2 curse. So, Ratchet and
4
Clank
to
with 4
1?
votes. Yeah.
Oh my!
There's a weird
God.
trend in the last two yearlies where like my favorite thing on here ends up being the first thing out of the losers bracket with the most votes.
And oh boy, Pokemon Go versus Overcooked. Any comments before we get to the vote?
I would like to say positive things about Pokemon Go now that I can.
All right, go for it.
So Pokemon Go was like, it is one of the most important games. Not important. One of the, like what Mick said, it made one of the biggest splashes out of any game out there, and is honestly can be considered like when you think of a video game, a lot of people are going to go to this first. And Pokemon Go was
Is that true?
Yeah, no, like I
But
know what you're trying to say, but
a
I
lot
don't
of people.
Yeah, I don't agree with that.
There
look,
are
it
a
doesn't
lot of,
fucking matter.
yeah, there are a lot of people who are not like us, and people who only play Pokemon Go, and that's their only video game. So that is more of the type of demographic that I'm thinking.
But is
of.
that true also?
Yeah, no.
I feel like it definitely is.
Yeah, I think it definitely is.
Oh,
as
no.
well.
I totally agree that there are people who the only video game they play are Pokemon Go. I still think that even in that demographic, when they think video games, they'll probably think of something else before Pokemon Go. I understand your point, and this is a totally pointless argument to keep going on, so let's just move off of it.
Well, you know what?
But
Mick?
I'm with Taylor, and I actually think that this is a bit of a... It's not exactly true, Christian, but it doesn't fucking matter. Let's continue.
Well, you know what? How about you, Pokemon, go away?
Damn. Holy shit.
You want a Pokemon Rumble? Let's Pokemon Go.
I can fucking Pokemon
Take it,
Mystery
Pokemon
Dungeon
outside.
Go Rescue
I would
Team.
make you
I will Pokemon Hey You Pikachu you.
Guys, I'm gonna Pokemon Snap if we don't vote.
I need a Pokemon gun.
Well, guess what? I'm gonna new Pokemon Snap.
Clanky, it is your Pokemon turn.
I'm voting for Overcooked.
Yeah. Mick.
Overcooked.
Graham.
Pokemon Go.
Okay. Taylor.
We're still friends, right, Jordan?
Yes, don't worry, we're still friends.
Overcooked.
You know.
And you know what? I didn't even get to say what I wanted to say about Pokemon Go.
Yeah, that's right. I'm sorry.
I
Well-
didn't even get to... No, you know what? Now I won't talk about it. It's Pokemon. I'm voting
Okay.
for Overcooked.
Yeah, another one of my wild cards gets pulled.
It was just unfortunate
Pummeled.
what it was up
Jordan,
against. I would've
You
kept
said
voting
it.
for
You
otherwise.
said it yourself. It was important to have the conversation.
Yeah.
And
Also,
we
Jordan,
kind
think
of
about it
did
this
that.
way: if any of your wildcards do well, like that is amazing because it means that you have chosen a game which none of the rest of us wanted on the list. So if it does do well, that's actually that's a testament. Like you shouldn't expect them to do well.
Yeah, I think part of having Jordan do the wild cards is looking at gaming from a different perspective.
Yeah, because I'm the populist,
Yeah.
and I think that the things that get to my bubble are important too.
And one of the
So you represent a very important community.
Yeah, the dummies,
Stop it.
Tommies, what?
You know,
I think it's the other way around.
morons. Yes, you got to remember this is the people of the land, the common
The
clay of
salt,
the New
the
West.
salt of the earth.
Yeah, morons. Going back to the regular bracket, we have Stardew Valley versus Rhythm Heaven Megamix. Ooh, this is good.
Yeah. Oof.
Don't do this to me, guys.
If no one has any comments, we go to Mick.
One of these games I can cave in.
Ooh. Which one's the one with the caves again? Stardew Valley?
Take a wild guess.
It's Stardew Valley, right?
Yeah, Stardew Valley.
Sorry, I know next to nothing about video games.
That's fair. And honestly, I was gonna make that joke, and as I was saying it, I'm second guessing myself. I'm like, is there a cave game in a
A box of
I'm
skulls.
thinking too, to be honest.
We all had to think
Megamix
for a
has a
second.
cave game. They would just call it cave if they did.
Okay.
Cave Heaven.
No,
Graham.
like the mini game would just be called cave.
Cave.
I know Rhythm Heaven.
Stardew Valley.
Yeah. Taylor's next. Yeah.
It even though I know what it is, it still is not fun. I fucking love Rhythm Heaven, man, and I'm actually gonna be replaying Megamix super soon, and I am beyond excited.
Cool. Great. Christian.
Tonight we dine in hell with the Mevin Megamix.
And Clanky.
What's the vote?
You're a tiebreaker.
It is 2-2. You decided.
Am I really? Oh, god damn it.
I know, right?
It's tough because even though Megamix isn't my favorite, like it's still a Rhythm Heaven game, and I do love Rhythm Heaven. Stardew Valley, I mean, like I shit you not, I'm wearing a Rhythm Heaven shirt right now. So I feel like that's the sign. I have to give it to Rhythm Heaven.
3-2.
Well, beloved dub, is that true?
Yes.
I'm literally wearing the ringside shirt.
Plot
Yes.
twist, he's wearing it. He's not.
I know. Turn around.
Yeah.
We are a
It's-
Dicky
There's always one of these that
We're a
like there's
Dicky
like a
Dicky Disc household.
there's one of these that has a random Clanky connection. Like last week there was the Megalovania on Melodica thing, and then this one is it's a shirt. So next. Speaking of Clanky connections, Death Road to Canada versus Doom.
It's been a good run.
I am actually a little curious how this will go, to be honest.
Yay.
Listen, both games focus on gunplay. I feel like it's safe to say one of them does that way better.
Yes, Death Road.
You don't actually mean that, though.
No, I think I do.
Okay. I can't tell you how you feel.
All right, we start with Mick.
Doom. I've played it.
Graham.
Doom.
Taylor.
Yeah, Doom.
Christian.
Well, this one was doomed from the start. Death Road to Canada.
And Clanky.
Before we end off, this is a perfect opportunity to point out that my three choices were Death Road to Canada, Doom, and Dark Souls, because they're all right next to each other and they all start
Yeah.
with Ds.
DDD.
3D gaming.
DDD. Wait. King DDD.
King DDD.
Oh my god.
It's all connected.
It is.
Anyway,
King
It's a
DDD,
conspiracy.
The name you should know.
Yeah.
I'm glad I'm not the only one voting for Death Road.
Yeah, 3-2. Like
Hey, I
usual.
gave you the vote last time.
That's fair. I'm happy it made it as far as it did.
Oh, that new 23 is going to be rough.
Oh dear. But before we do 23, Dark Souls 3 versus Super Hot. Any last comments about either of these?
Yes, it's super hot.
Oh,
It's pronounced
excuse
like
me then.
corpse. Jordan, it's pronounced like corpse.
Oops.
He's right.
Super.
Super.
Oops.
That's a
Super.
great way to remember it.
Oh my god.
Super hops.
I'd like to apologize to anyone listening who listened to the last Yearlies for me ekalaying hoops for 5 fucking hours or whatever. I don't know what was wrong with me that night. I was just in such a goofy mood, and I just kept saying "whoops" a million times.
To be
Okay.
honest, I'm a little surprised that you didn't do it all this year too.
Because I knew that the dead horse would be with flies all over it, so I didn't want to clip it
Listen,
up.
if you've already beaten a dead horse, you might as well continue to beat it so it gets turned into a pulp and you can hide the evidence easier.
Spoken from experience, Mick?
Yes.
Okay. That must have been a wild round of Red Dead.
You can look, you can beat a dead horse, but you can't make it drink.
No, you can't. Any actual comments on these, or shall we vote?
I had to be a little extra critical of SUPERHOT last time. I still feel like, yeah, no, it's okay. I take it back. I have nothing to say.
Mick.
Sorry, SUPERHOT. Dark Souls 3.
Okay. Graham.
Dark Souls 3.
Okay. Taylor.
I don't know. Whatever I've said about any Souls game throughout all of these brackets is probably true right now. So SUPERHOT.
Okay. Christian.
Dark Souls.
And Clank.
Dark Souls 3.
4-1.
I love the idea of a Bostonian Dark Souls.
Dark Souls.
Dark Souls.
Rest
Got
on-
you donkeys.
Rest at the Globe Dispenser.
Dark Souls.
Dark Souls.
One of the
As
bosses.
if Mark Wahlberg was in it.
One of the bosses is all of the Red Sox.
Oh my god.
It's like one hive mind conglomerate.
It's like the
And,
Deacons
it's
of the
just, and it speaks in the voice of David Ortiz.
I'm trying to beat Idex Gundy over here.
You go to Fenway Park and you just have to fight all of the Red Sox.
Yeah, and Big Poppy's the hardest one.
No, you
The
know
Red
what it
Sox,
is?
but,
It's
like the boss name is the Bloody Garments.
I was thinking the entire Red Sox would be like the Celestial Emissaries.
Oh my god.
Well,
Sure.
the Red Sox. What about the Living Failures? I don't even know sports.
You kill one and another one just comes up from the ground. Anyway,
We go on to the next one, which is Kirby Planet Robobot versus Final Fantasy.
please don't hurt me.
Am I pronouncing it wrong?
You alright?
He's pronouncing Final Fantasy.
Isn't it like...
We now return to Jordan reads the Roman numerals.
Also,
This
it would
has
be,
been Jordan reads the Roman
I think it
numerals.
would be more of like a shuv, like a shuv, like or
Shuv.
something.
But,
Wouldn't it be Kzv?
I give up. I give
or maybe
up.
it's like one of those South African languages, and it's Final Fantasy.
Oh, it's Khasa.
No, it's a text emoji. You guys don't see it.
It's a guy coughing.
It's a guy coughing.
That's what that face
It's a
looks like to
dead
me.
Pac-Man.
Turn your face left. Turn your head to the left.
Final Fantasy.
Stupidest joke we've ever done.
I'm glad we can all have this one point that we can look back and realize this is when people stopped watching the Yearlies.
I mean, I'm glad we have the moment nailed down.
I mean, listen, we have to do this now because I think we're about to start hurting Final Fantasy.
Come back to me.
Okay.
Are you okay, Jordan?
Yeah. Graham.
Final Fantasy.
Taylor.
As much as I'd love to pronounce the name again, I love Planet Robobot. Planet Robobot is part of, I think, the golden era of Kirby. Although Forgotten Land has started a new, also amazing, better era. But Robobot's great.
Okay. Christian.
Kirby Planet Robobot.
Oh, you can do that.
Yeah.
Clanky.
Subtle.
I'm giving it to Kirby Planet Robobot.
And Mick for posterity.
It doesn't matter what I vote for.
Yeah.
I'll vote for Final Fantasy.
Noises. Why are they funny?
This is
We
like
just
the dry
don't
heaving
know.
we started off with.
You know, if we started doing any of these with like any amount of like, oh god, once we go into a few hours, we get grumpy. I feel like now the more we go into, the more fucking cursed we get.
I'm gonna submit the score.
Well,
Wait, did Graham vote? I guess he did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah, I
He was
did.
the first one to vote.
Okay, listen. Don't blame me for forgetting that in the sea of what this round was.
It's dead Pac-Man.
It does look like it's Final Fantasy.
This is the worst Pac-Man
Can we,
massacre I've ever seen.
Stardew Valley versus Overcooked. Any things before we get to it?
I do feel like something needs to be said because you got Christian and Clanky. I know we're very big Overcooked fans here, and that makes me nervous. I'm sure there is an addictive rhythm to Overcooked, but there is also a rhythm to the loop of Stardew Valley, to the slow expanding build of it. Are we allowed to talk seriously anymore, or has all of our credibility been thrown away?
Do what you want.
All right, look,
I will say though that I do love Overcooked, but I mean Stardew Valley is still Stardew Valley. I love that game.
yeah,
I'm
I
gonna
feel like
vote
there's
for
so many
Overcooked, right?
aspects of Stardew Valley I wasn't even able to discuss. Like, there's the more you do any individual task, the better you get. You get this great level up system that allows you to pick and choose. Like, you can choose from 2 separate skill sets, and they can dramatically change how you choose to do that task because they'll affect your profit margins in an interesting way. You can fucking make so much money.
Money can be exchanged for goods and services.
There you go.
I
Simpsons
really.
reference Taylor knows.
I also feel like it's worth mentioning that Stardew Valley, each one of the characters has their own backstory and special character events that the more you get to know them, the more you get to learn about their lives. There's this one character who suffers from who's an alcoholic who suffers from huge depression, and there's just the scene where he takes you. He gives you a drink by the riverside and just basically says, "You ever feel like your life is meaningless and going nowhere?" And it's this really out of nowhere. Holy shit! This game got dark really fast, and it's really fascinating. The game is full of neat tonal shifts like that, and I love it. It's so good.
Getting to the vote, I believe Graham goes first this round.
Stardew Valley.
Okay. Taylor.
Stardew Valley.
Okay. Christian.
I never thought Overcooked would ever in a million years win this round, so I'll still give it my vote though.
Okay. Clank.
Stardew Valley.
And Mick.
Stardew Valley.
4-1. Well,
Overcooked
this one should be interesting.
Overcooked did do better than I thought it was going to do. It
Overcooked
won
was
once.
And we managed to get it off here without a single Ratatouille reference.
You can play as a rat. I think.
You can play as a raccoon. I know that because there's
Raccoonui.
there's this great video of this guy who he plays 2 characters with the same controller and they're both raccoons and he's with one other person and the guy is just like, please stop, the raccoons are messing everything up.
So does that mean the people who made Everything Everywhere All at Once had played Overcooked?
I was thinking the same thing. I was thinking the exact same
Thank
thing.
you. Oh my god. Death Road to Canada versus Ratchet and Clank. Somebody's darling's about to get killed.
But it's weird to me. It's weird that I have to worry. Even though I like Death Road to Canada.
Death Road is a great game, Taylor.
But
It's so weird that you have to worry.
But it's just not better than Ratchet and Clank, dude.
Disagree. Hard disagree.
You haven't played.
Hey, I think
You're
Pokemon goes better than both of
You're
those
fucking
games.
held up on your. You're fucking held up on your.
Canada. That's almost a promise.
You're being held up by your childhood nicknames. All right.
No,
I mean, okay.
I thought you were talking about Death Road to Canada with childhood, but then I looked at the other entry. Oh,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. They call
everyone-
me Death
That's
Road
what
to
they used to
Clank.
call him as a kid, Clanky the Canuck.
Everyone called me Death Road to Canada when I was a fucking kid.
Glass bones and paper skin.
Jesus.
Yeah, that's why they call me the Death Road to Canada. No, listen. I just listen.
You're underestimating how much I love Death Road to Canada.
Then all right. Then
Unfortunately, you only have 1 vote.
I know. Can we just get it over with? Let's just
Okay. Yes.
pull the
Graham.
trigger. Just do it.
Death Road to Canada.
Okay. Taylor. Well,
Ratchet and Clank.
okay. Christian.
Death Road.
My goodness, let's go. Let's do it.
Taylor.
Let's go.
Calm down, son. It's just a drawing.
Which Final Fantasy is that?
Fuck.
Clanky, I think I know what you're voting for.
Yeah, I'm gonna vote for Ratchet. No, Death Road to Canada.
And Nick.
Ratchet and Clank.
Okay. See, there you go.
I need a minute. Oh. Who was the one who said that me worrying about this outcome wasn't necessary?
Listen, I thought it was hopeless. I'll just be honest.
I
really thought-
didn't. I believed in the game more than you did. Sorry. I'm sorry.
This is getting spiked.
I'm sorry, Clanky. I'm just really upset because, you know what? It would be one thing if there were other Ratchet and Clanks that I'm going to get to talk about for a while, but, like, until we start going backwards, I can't. And fucking, it could win one round. I mean, oh, dude.
At least it didn't beat. At least it didn't get beaten by Undertale.
Well, everything got beaten by
just,
Undertale.
Yeah, but okay.
I'm just.
Well, I know that the next round will probably make you really happy.
You don't know that. No one knows anything. We don't
I
even
have
know
a
how to
good
pronounce
feeling.
Final Fantasy 15.
Well, I know how to pronounce one of the next games.
I
It's
don't even know that
SUPERHOT.
fucking owl who is the sound an owl makes. It's okay. Haha, Joseph Ferris. Everything's great.
Champagne has already been celebrated for its excellence.
French.
Poor Gaston. Okay.
It's me, Colin
Super
Farrell
hot.
from Super Mario Bros.
SUPERHOT versus Jackbox Party Pack 3. I think I know where this is going.
Stop
Hopefully.
saying.
I genuinely do. Anything to say about these before we go and vote?
Super Mario. No. Wait, what am I even saying? That's not even a thing. What?
Super Mario Pot.
That's what I was gonna say. I was gonna say that, but then I realized that's not a joke. I just put Mario in between two words.
I would have laughed.
I had to stop myself before I reached
You know what? Just for that, Graham, vote.
Hot.
Okay.
Just
Taylor?
like me.
Yes, it is.
I vote for Ratchet and Clank.
No. What do you vote for?
Yes. Okay, fine. I vote for Jackbox.
Okay. Christian.
19th favorite game, Jackbox Party Pack 3.
Clanky.
Jackbox.
You see, I told you. Mick.
Super hot.
Well, if
Okay,
that's the
3-2.
case, why couldn't you say I know? Or whatever. All right, I'm gonna stop complaining.
Yeah, it's my job. Oh, wait.
It's a lie. I'm gonna complain the rest of the night.
Okay, Bob.
This is my Alan Wake.
I'm gonna inspect Element and make every game Ratchet and Clank.
Death Road
Okay,
to Canada, even though I've played it, is now my WarioWare DIY.
Jesus Christ.
Why is it always my game? How does this always happen?
Hitman versus Hitman versus Final Fantasy.
It never
became
ends.
funny again.
I'm almost like sad if it gets like kicked out of the bracket. We won't be able to make the joke anymore.
Keep hope alive. Anything to say about either of these two?
No. Can we just vote?
Okay. Graham.
I vote for Final Fantasy.
Taylor.
As much as I think Final Fantasy is interesting, wow. Actually, hang on a second. Hang on a second. I had a narrative in my head, but now I need a moment to step.
Crying again.
Mick Man, I was about to call. I don't know why I called you Mick Man.
Megaman.
Mick, what is the difference of quality between 1 and 2, like on a scale?
On a scale, I mean, I think I would say it's.
Different question. You like Hitman 2 more. I understand that, but I probably have to start with Hitman anyways. Am I not going to have fun until I get to Hitman 2?
No. So like the way I would describe it is that Hitman 1, I only did my problems with Hitman 1 are only for the most part because I played Hitman 2 first, and then looking back, like I haven't gotten through the high that was Hitman 2.
Say no more. It's the argument I make for people in Persona.
Yeah.
Okay. One last question. What are the consequences when you get caught in this? Is it over immediately?
In Hitman?
Yeah.
Not exactly. Like what's it called again? Like, you can fight your way out of things. You can definitely fight your way out of things, and there's a whole thing which is called John Wicking a level, which is where you just say, you know what, fuck it, I'm not even gonna bother trying to be stealthy and just shoot your way through it, and like that's possible. It's certainly more difficult than it is in some other stealth games. You would have to go out into the middle of an open space and challenge every single guard in order to really get killed. If you just try and kill as many people as possible and then change disguise and hide, you'll get away with it.
Come back to me.
Okay. Christian.
As much as I'd like to vote for Final Fantasy XV, I'm gonna give it to Shitman.
Shit.
I don't feel very good about this now.
The Clanky.
I'm not really a Final Fantasy guy, so I'm giving it to Hitman.
Oh. Mick.
And look, you knew where this was going, and so I'm sorry to say that this will be the last time that we ever hear from Final Fantasy. Actually, hang on. Wait, one. What, can I go again?
Do it again.
Final Fantasy. Just to tie it all back.
You're voting for Hitman, I reckon.
Yeah, I'm voting for Hitman.
Taylor.
I think the reason I needed to wait is partially because there was a part of me that wanted to see if I could save Final Fantasy here and keep this joke going.
Yeah.
But I think I always wanted to vote for Hitman, which is weird.
Okay.
I may even end up liking Final Fantasy more, but at this very moment, Hitman sounds a little cooler. Right now, I'm more into playing Final Fantasy 14.
All right. 14. Okay, got it. Death Road to Canada versus Stardew Valley.
The spirit of the serenity and peace that Stardew Valley promotes,
Serenity now.
Serenity now.
I will just sit here peacefully and trust.
No, you
us
won't, because
all.
it's your turn first.
Is it my turn first?
Yeah, because
Okay.
it was Graham's
Fuck you,
turn
Death Road to
last
Canada,
round, so-
Stardew Valley.
That's
You
You're
hurt
right
me. You hurt
right
me
into my
today.
hand.
I was on your side and you hurt me.
Christian.
Eventually you get to a point where you have to like look at a game that you haven't played and realize there's no way that when I play this game, it's not going to be better than this other game that I have played. Stardew Valley there's no way I'm going to like it less. There's no way I'm going to like Stardew Valley less than Death Road. So, I'm giving it to Stardew.
Yeah. Clanky.
I think this is the end of the road. I'm voting for Death Road to Canada.
Yeah. Mick.
I am gonna vote for Stardew because you can go into caves in it.
And Graham.
Stardew Valley.
Okay, 4-1.
By the way, I think this is making me sound like some sort of like nutcase cave junkie that will only vote for things if there are caves involved.
I mean, we always
not at
do
all the
that.
kind of which is not all who I am, but
It's not all
Yeah.
who you are, but we've always known it was a big part of who you are.
yeah,
Person who showed me weird cave game.
it's true. Yeah.
Nick, have you ever played The Cave, which is a
no.
talking cave?
No.
Okay, you might not like it, to be honest, but
Okay.
but I kind of like it. It's a double fun game.
It is Hitman. This is a duo if I've ever seen one. It is Hitman versus Jackbox Party Pack 3.
One's a killer, the other's just a roaring party in a box. When you put them together, who knows what's gonna happen? This summer, Agent 47 is Quiplash, rated R.
Great.
Now I want more than anything. I want a video of like Agent 47 playing Quiplash to like get to a target.
Great. It writes itself. Taylor, it is your turn first.
I mean, did you see the movie? He was playing Quiplash. Quiplash looked like a ton of fun. I have more.
Yeah.
I play Jackbox. I have more fun with it.
Right.
I have more. I have memories of it.
Yeah, no, of course. Christian.
Jackbox 3.
Wow. Clanky.
Jackbox.
Nick.
Hitman.
And Graham.
Man, what you pick up off the floor? Hitman. Oh my
Something,
god, I'm
you're
running
off
out
the
the door.
Mine was funnier.
I
it's
didn't
a-
hear yours, so it couldn't have been.
That's 3-2 Jackbox Party Pack 3.
Yeah, it's fun to sing at the.
No, it's fun to sing at the YMCA.
I am bang bang.
Okay. All right. Next up is Rhythm Heaven Megamix versus Doom. If no one has any comments, we'll go right to Taylor.
Yeah, man. Ratchet and Clank.
They both start with R, so give a point to Rhythm Heaven.
Yeah, all right. To be honest, I probably like Rhythm Heaven Megamix more than that Ratchet and Clank game, anyways.
Yeah.
Maybe. Is that true? Hang on.
You admit it?
Hang on. Wait. That's not the conversation. Rhythm Heaven Megamix.
Okay. Christian.
Rhythm Heaven Megamix.
Yeah. Clanky.
Damn, Megamix.
Wow. Nick.
I think I'll enjoy playing Ratchet and Clank more.
Ooh, we're not talking about Ratchet and Clank. We're talking about Rhythm Heaven Megamix.
Wait.
Wait, are you okay?
Sorry. Yeah, no, I'm not. Sorry, Doom. Sorry, Taylor got me. Taylor somehow managed to invade my mind and make us think that it was Ratchet and Clank versus Megamix.
And it worked.
Holy shit, supplemental messaging. We're gonna win.
Graham.
Look, part of that is the fact that I'm playing Hitman right now, and so I wasn't like looking at the bracket, but like.
Well, it's a
Doom
good thing
upon
that
all
you voted
your
because.
houses.
So, Mick, you voted for Doom?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so did Graham, I think, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so the winner of this bracket is Ratchet and Clank.
I willed it into existence.
Yes, you did. You did this, Taylor. This was all you.
That is fucking incredible.
Dark Souls 3 versus Kirby Planet Robobot.
Christian, I'm nervous for you.
You're
I'm
gonna have
nervous
to be
for you.
nervous. I already know what's going to happen.
Okay, then we'll rip off the Band-Aid quickly. Taylor.
I really want Robobot to win. I really do. But I'm not sure if it will. But I'm going to try. Robobot.
Okay. Christian. Well.
I mean, look, if it was gonna lose to anything, then...
Yeah.
Then...
And I should have lost to Ratchet and Clank.
I voted for Robobot.
Yeah, figured. Clanky.
Dark Souls 3.
Mick.
Dark Souls 3.
And Graham.
Dark Souls 3.
Sorry, but
Nah, this isn't the part that stings. Look where it went. Once it processes the vote.
Ooh.
Yeah. That hurts.
Well, shall we do the final two first, or shall we go down to the losers?
Well, losers would be the order, like 25 and
Okay.
26 are.
well, 25, we retread an old round.
All right, so let's just do that one. Doom versus Jackbox Party Pack 3. Now it is Christian, because we did our 4.
Jackie boy.
Wow, okay. Clanky.
Doom.
Mick.
Jackbox.
Graham.
Insert Doom music here.
Oh, Taylor.
I have brought doom to you all.
Wow, you're going with Doom over Jackbox. All right.
We did. That's what we did last time.
Well, I know, but I thought you know. First time isn't always.
No, listen. I feel like if I can't stay true to my convictions for like an hour, then
Okay. Kirby Planet Robobot versus Stardew
says
Valley.
Burger King versus Shake Shack.
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
That's what I was thinking this was going to be. Kirby Planet Robobot versus Stardew Valley. Ooh.
I'm pretty bummed out about this, but
This is rough.
yeah. I'm pretty,
Actually, you know what, Christian? I think I need to consult my own top list here.
look, don't think too much about it.
Oh my, Christian, you're gonna hate this, but my Kirby and my Stardew are right next to each other.
Yeah. Don't think too hard about it.
Yeah.
You might not have to.
Well,
Christian.
it's all right.
we
I
start-
think I've reached my decision, anyways.
Christian, we start with you.
Well, Kirby Planet Robobot, it was fun, and it sucks to see you go, but, you know, at least you didn't get knocked off in the first round.
Then Clanky.
Stardew Valley.
Okay. Mick.
Kirby Planet Robobot.
That a pity vote?
I don't really know, but my heart just said Kirby Planet Robobot to me, and I'm just like, fuck it.
I appreciate it either way.
And then Graham.
Stardew Valley.
And then Taylor.
I looked at the V in Stardew Valley, and it immediately looked like the 5 Roman numeral in Final Fantasy. Okay, I guess that joke's done.
I'm sorry. No, I was distracted.
Pick up on mic.
I was distracted.
It's okay.
I thought that there was an error with the computer. I clicked on another tab, and I thought that the volume went on.
Yeah, Final Fantasy 15 is a computer virus.
It is basically.
So wait, Taylor, is Taylor deciding vote?
Yes,
Yeah,
Taylor's the deciding vote.
I feel terrible because these games are literally like one place apart, but Stardew Valley is 1 point higher.
The true way of voting is numerically. It's the only
I'm sorry.
way.
I'm sorry, man.
Hate to
Hell
see
of a
it
run
go.
by Kirby, though.
I have more hours in Stardew, and it's not my favorite Kirby game.
Okay.
Hate to see it go.
Do we do... Okay, we do the losers one next. So Doom versus Stardew Valley. Graham, is something funny?
This is like the Doom Eternal and
Animal Crossing thing,
Yeah, basically.
We vote for Isabel.
Christian, still your start.
Stardew Valley.
Okay. Clanky.
No, sorry, Doom.
Ooh. Mick.
I'm gonna have to go with the game I've played, Doom.
Graham.
Doom.
And Taylor.
Interesting. I really thought Stardew was going to win the losers bracket. I really did. But 3-2, I guess, is what it's going to have to be.
Okay. And Rhythm Heaven Megamix versus Dark Souls 3. Wow. Wow.
I would not be upset if Dark Souls 3 fucking won the bracket. I would not be upset.
Christian, unless anybody has anything else to say, it is your go.
But Rhythm Heaven Megamix is my vote.
Yeah. Clanky.
Look, Megamix is great, and I love Rhythm Heaven, but it's got to go to Dark Souls 3.
Ooh. Mick.
Dark Souls 3.
Graham.
Dark Souls 3.
And Taylor.
Rhythm Heaven.
3-2. So now it's Rhythm Heaven versus Doom.
So this is indicative of a few things. But we'll just get this round. We'll just zoom through. We're making good time.
It is now Clanky's first turn.
I'm going to have to give it to Rhythm Heaven.
Mm-hmm. Mick.
Rhythm Heaven versus Doom?
Mm-hmm.
Doom.
Yeah. Graham?
Doom.
Yeah. Taylor.
Rhythm Heaven versus Doom.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Ratchet and Clank.
No, Taylor.
Listen, if I don't vote for Ratchet and Clank, then we're just going to get the same bracket again. I'm trying, guys.
So what
Rhythm
are you
Heaven.
voting for? Rhythm Heaven? Okay. And Kristen.
Rhythm Heaven.
And here we are again.
Alright, I guess I can't really necessarily be upset. I mean, I want Megamix
Well, hang
to
on.
win.
Now we have to try to change some minds.
If we want. And the mind to change is Clanky's. Clanky is our swing vote.
It won't happen. I'm sorry. Dark Souls 3 is you, Christian. I don't know what to tell you, man.
Taylor, I think he's right. I really don't think he's going to change his mind.
Listen, Clanky. I have your parents.
Well, that's just got worse.
The Yearlies gets fucking canceled.
I have your parents.
Can I have them back?
You do? I've been looking for.
It's okay. Taylor doesn't have object permanence. They won't be there for long.
That's right. I forgot. He doesn't have object permanence. Taylor, Clanky, your parents are fine. He's totally forgotten they existed.
Can I have them back soon?
I'm tearing up.
They're already
No.
back. They're already back. Yes.
Gosh, there they
As-
were.
Yeah.
Taylor, the tears are no longer in your eyes. Remember, you have object permanence.
I'm actually crying. I cracked myself
The
up.
power of a callback joke.
That's great. That's
Oh
great.
my god! I don't know where that came from. I'm sorry. I just really, you know what? I knew in one of these a Souls game had to win, but like I like Rhythm Heaven Megamix so much more that it's a little bit of a shame. It's a bit more than a shame. I don't know, man. Other than Ratchet and Clank in this, I feel like I got some stuff pretty well off in here.
If this was DS or Fever, you would have been able to convince me. I'll be honest.
Well, Fever made it pretty far last time too.
Yeah, as we decided, if we had voted in the right way, Fever actually would have won the last one.
I just think that this game is Fever, but more. I mean, there's no games in Fever that aren't aren't in here that I like.
And it even has a challenge train and a goat. And like,
Yeah,
I just
the less said about the
like,
goat,
I
the
like
better.
Fever a lot.
it's also just exploding with content. It's portable. I mean, and all of the stages look so crystal. I don't know.
can I say
mean,
one thing I really like about Rhythm Heaven Megamix? I'm not even trying to change Clanky's mind. I just want to talk about Megamix. One thing I really like about Rhythm Heaven Megamix is that on the bottom screen, it shows how close you were to getting a perfect note. Like, if you get a perfect note, there's an explosion in the center of the bottom screen.
Yeah, I like that.
It shoots out like that, but it shows whether you're early and it's to the left side, or if you're late and it's to the right side. And I just think that's a really neat feature and a really great use of the double screens of the DS. So,
Yeah. I mean, as I said before, like, I first played Rhythm Heaven DS, did not enjoy it, decided that Rhythm Heaven was the popular franchise that I was going to hate on for the rest of my life. And that did not last. Played it again. It's much better. Still my least favorite Rhythm Heaven because I feel like they fucked up the controls, which is not good for a rhythm game.
The flicking isn't that bad.
The flicking's kind of bad.
It's not that bad.
it's horrible on an emulator.
It's not that bad, but if it fails at all in a rhythm game, that's a problem. And it will fail at least once in most times.
I've never had a problem with it failing.
Well, you're a music major. You're probably just better at this.
It's flicking a style. There's not. You don't need training for that.
This Rhythm Heaven descent is why Rhythm Heaven is never going to win a bracket.
Listen, I replayed it, had a much better time. But then I played Fever, and Fever was phenomenal. And then I played Megamix, and it Christian, I was looking at a trailer from Rhythm Doctor the other day.
Yeah.
I'm like super excited for it now. Like I want it to come out of early access really soon because I thought it was just going to be one Rhythm Heaven game, but I realize now that it's like, oh, it's a ton of games. It really is Rhythm Heaven. Listen, if I keep talking, Dark Souls can't win.
You're doing the classic Sans approach.
Dark Souls already win. Dark Souls already won. You don't have a...
If we don't vote, then it'll never win.
Well, that's the end of our show.
The only way to win is to not play.
Yeah.
I'm ready to vote, by the way.
Okay. Clanky, you're up first.
Dark Souls.
Yeah. Mick.
Dark Souls.
Graham with the swing votes.
He doesn't have a swing vote.
What was that, Graham?
No. You think I would ever vote for a rhythm game?
Graham doesn't have rhythm.
Graham fell asleep in a metronome factory, and he's been fucked ever since.
Yeah, I don't like rhythm games.
Graham with the swing vote.
Taylor, I think I know what you're voting for.
I'll be honest, I didn't realize we hadn't started voting. But yeah, Megamix, let's be consistent.
Christian.
We'll get it 3-2.
Yeah.
Rhythm Heaven pulling in a respectable second place.
Which means the winner of this bracket is, that's right, Final Fantasy.
Dark Souls.
It was Ratchet and Clank. Just here, put up a big Ratchet and Clank wins. We did it, guys.
Yeah,
Look.
I'll put in that asset for you.
And I am so happy my favorite game came out in 2004. That means it'll never be on one of these lists.
No,
Well,
we're
we could go
gonna go backwards.
Yeah, we're going backwards after 2020 whatever year, you know.
Yeah, no, we definitely are going backwards.
I already have
don't wanna step to these.
all of the games listed that I'm going to go backwards with already listed out.
All right, this was a fun one. It really was.
Yeah.
Yes. It was very good.
There always. Doom made it a lot farther than I thought it would.
Doom, I thought was going to win.
I really wish. I really really wish Kirby Planet Robot got 4th. It was so close.
You know,
I
like
thought-
usual, this
I
came
really
down
thought it could
to,
get 5th. Did it not get 5th?
It got 5th. So your
As
prediction
usual-
was right.
As usual, this bracket came down to the cute games versus the war games, and once again, the war games won.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm kind of okay. Actually, I can.
Didn't Undertale win last time?
I'm not saying they always win. I'm just saying that this time, cute lost.
I'm kind of upset that Hitman didn't get higher, but I'm actually pretty good. Looking at the actual thing, I'm actually pretty happy with how it went.
Hitman got tied for 7th, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it got tied for 7th, but no, it looked weird at 7th, and then I realized, oh no, because that's because Kirby Planet Robot and Jackbox Party Pack 3 are tied for 5th, and then Death Row Cannon and Hitman are tied for 7th.
Yeah.
That's real.
Likewise, I'm also proud of how Death Row did.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
not.
this went pretty
I'm
well.
mad at
overall.
Death Road.
I'm surprised Final Fantasy 15 beat Sid Meier's Civ 6.
You know,
Civ
I
6
feel
was
like
a lot.
Civ
Did
6
they
got
actually-
last.
I think that's just. I think that's because they just never went up against each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, Civ 6, I can't believe Civ 6 got last considering Civ 5 won the first
Well,
Yearlies we ever
Civ
did.
5 is one that's universally beloved, and Civ 6 is.
I just feel like we completed our Yearly's arc of Civ 5. That's why I try not to I do my best to try to pick the best representation of games that are very similar to each other when I can, just to attempt to avoid redundancy.
Yeah, but I didn't really have a lot of other stuff I could add in that had a chance of winning.
No, listen, you guys can pick whatever you want. That's just my preference.
I'm going to stop the recording, by the way, so
Yeah.
this will be all
All right, hey, can I before you stop?
Okay.
I just want to say goodbye to anyone listening because we never do that. So
No, we
thank
don't.
you for listening.
Oh, fuck
I think we never really realized how close we were to actually releasing. Because I always was like, oh yeah, maybe we'll release it, maybe not. But now that
But now that we are,
yeah,
thank you for listening to us ramble. And next year is going to be the best year in gaming.
Yeah.
also
Allegedly.
I'm sorry you had to listen to us ramble.
Sorry that you had to
Actually
listen to all of
came
my
out
dumb
from
jokes.
Funny noises, guttural utterances, or as some would say, gutterances.
Goodbye.
Have a nice evening, everybody.
And remember,